Go drop Mugen a like as well. Always making absolutely great content. We'll skip that because I don't want to get flagged for the music. But yeah, so I don't know anything at all about the situation with the voice actors for Honkai Star Rail. I know that the big names, the big like characters that were like in discussion for this was the Argenti voice actors, as well as some of their voice actors got replaced too. Though I'm not sure if it's on the same situation, the same reasons, let's say. But I believe the voice actors for Hua was also changed. So I want to kind of figure out what's going on, why exactly they switched them out, and not only did he switch the main troublemaker, so to speak, but they also switched out people that came to his defense. So I'm kind of curious to see what exactly happened there. Once we get a better understanding, we can sort of discuss this.
Not having done enough of a background check is not an excuse this time. God, this is such a mess. On July 18th, Honkai Star Rail, which is a massive gacha game made by the same developer of Genshin Impact, which is Hoyoverse, made this tweet, which is showing off a character that will be releasing in the upcoming updates. This is something.
Now this is Moe's. Moe's is not out yet. Like, it's still as of this stream. Yeah, as of this stream, I have not seen. Hello, Mr. Gamer. So welcome. Mondays are specific. Monday monkey mornings are specifically coffee and news. So if you wanted to bring up anything, it's Mondays now. Mondays are the days for it. It's a long video too, so we're pretty much discussing this. I don't know. I didn't prepare a second topic, but if we even get through till then, we'll see. But I'm pretty sure this will get us through the entire stream today. Anyway, so yeah, this character not out yet. I'm not even the kind of person that like looks ahead on these gacha games. I've been playing so many gacha games, as you know. We're playing Honkai Star Rail tomorrow morning. Then it's Wuthering Waves, then Zenless Zone, and then Nikke. But I don't look ahead for any of it. I'm focusing on the campaign. I'm just doing my thing. I'm not worrying about getting any SS tier. Like characters or banner. I don't worry about any of that. I just worry about like getting to the campaign. But now I kind of want to know because the same voice actor apparently again did Argenti and other characters. So, what is this is from the official Honkai Star? Let me read over this real quick. But I think this is just like promotional stuff, right? There's nothing like. Yeah, it's just a promotional thing. But it does say right there, Chris.
They do Niosi all the time. It's called drip marketing. It's to build hype, and they keep building hype up until the character comes out. In this case, the character's name is Moe's, and he's a 4-star.
Wait, I can't lie to you. It's this not just like the main characters? It's not just the main MC, but was like a purple hoodie.
There's usually a quote of the character, and then a little description of who they are.
So many gray-haired characters.
Tricky though. When people saw who the English voice was, Chris Niosi. But not everyone was really aware. I would even say it's in the minority. Many in the comments are very hyped, are praising the character's design, but there are some, like this one right here, saying, just Google his English voice actor, just wow Hoyo. Okay, let's Google him. Chris Niosi. Okay, great. Well, here's the thing.
I hate Googling. I refuse to Google. I prefer to watch YouTubers cover the situation. Like, you do the Googling for me, Mujin. Thank you. This is what I want. I want you to Google for me and then show me the results.
Scroll down and you go to page 2. You will find...
Because then I can make content out of it, you see.
Tumblr post in which he apologizes for committing heinous things towards his ex-partners, colleagues, and friends over the course, in his own words, over the course of 10 years. We're
10 years
abuse,
of being a
harassment,
bad person?
manipulation, you name it. And it's all self-admitted by himself. This used to be on the first page of Google. I'm not even joking, but it got replaced because of this Reddit post. And this leads me to the other aspect of this mess, which is such an implosion. The case of Chris is special because in this case, we have 2 high-profile voice actors from Honkai Star Rail and from the English dubbing community and they both have come out.
I just need to put this out there right now. Hoyoverse, Honkai, voice actor, right here. I haven't done shiz, bro. I never leave my house. I never leave my room. I like this room. So, like, I don't even have any opportunities to do nothing scandalous. You feel me? Like, I'm good. I'm clean. My part-time job is taking care of, like, taking care of, like, special needs kids. Like, I'm as clean as it gets. I got you. Like,
to talk about this while having
you don't gotta worry about nothing with me.
Differing opinions. One day after the announcement of the character, a very well-renowned voice actor
Except
by
I
the name of
am a professional simp. I am a bit of a degenerate, but I mean that's just that's perfect for our you know freaking like that's exactly our audience, you know.
Talk about this while having
so he does that, dude.
Differing opinions. One day after the announcement of the character, a very well-renowned voice actor by the name of Alejandro Saab, aka Ayoo, which is his VTuber persona, said that he just got.
Wait, I do know Ayoo. Whoa, hold on. Let me make sure. Is that the same? Is Ayoo Chris?
One day after the announcement of the character, a very well-renowned voice actor by the
okay, Ayoo does the voice for. Got it. Okay, no, okay.
Name of Alejandro Saab, aka.
I didn't even know that. Am I that stupid? And he does Anton and is endless.
Ayoo, which is his VTuber persona.
The freak!
Said that he just got back on Twitter and that he was going to have a serious talk on stream regarding this. It was very emotional, and
I know who Ayoo is, but I really only know him when he collaborates with like other VTubers that I watch. I'll be honest. I mainly watch. I think I've seen him on with like why am I blanking on her name now? The Scuff Queen.
he even ended up breaking down crying over this. I thought this was going to be the peak. It wasn't going to get worse than this. Guess what? The voice actor for Sunday, someone you.
Wait, he's also the voice actor for Sunday? Or?
And he even ended up breaking down crying over this. I thought this was going to be the peak. It wasn't going to get worse than this. Guess what? The voice actor for Sunday, someone you definitely know if you played Honkai Star Rail, and who doesn't use social media and stays off of Twitter except for professional reasons, made a Reddit post on r/Honkai Star Rail talking about this exact controversy. This post is currently sitting at 1,400 upvotes. It used to be
Sunday being basically the careful, I almost kicked the power outlet out. Sunday is the voice actor for freaking so Sunday is a pretty central role, I should say. It's an important side character in the Honkai, but not like a huge role really. But yeah, it's pretty central. It's just the brother to Robin, who was like the number one waifu in that whole thing. So he'd already gotten in trouble for it, quote unquote canceled for it once well, he had a role in Fire Emblem.
Be higher, but it's been getting downvoted, and it was the first time many people were even hearing of this, okay? This is very serious because unlike the whole Diluc voice actor accusations, where there were holes in the story and many people found it hard to make up their opinion on it unless more proof came out, this right here is so different because Chris himself had made a post admitting to everything in his own words.
Yeah, that's basically like, recent examples would be Dr. Disrespect, who admitted to all the allegations. And by all the allegations, I mean he admitted to the fact that he spoke to underage girls in a inappropriate manner. Yeah, it's like EDP 445. They're gonna keep trying to come back. Because once you get in there, you don't want to go back to normal life. The entire
community implode.
You kidding me? I would lose my mind to get a job like this. But I freaking stream all day, so I never go and audition for anything.
Within itself. Let's talk about it. Christopher Edwin Niosi, otherwise known as Kerbifer online, is an accomplished voice actor, and he was in some pretty high-profile roles like Arataka Reagan from Popcicle 100. Additionally, he voiced the main character in Fire Emblem Three Houses under Nintendo.
Oh, and he was in Fairy Tail. Freaking love Fairy Tail, dude. I need to catch up on Fairy Tail. I haven't freaking watched Fairy Tail in a moment, bro. I fell off. I fell off immediately after the time skip. If you know which one I'm talking about, you know, like the one where like the whole guild goes to garbage, and I was just like, I'm like done. It's like too much. Ace Combat 7. I freaking love Ace Combat 7. Great game. Phenomenal. I don't know if I'm good enough to play it on stream. I suck at it. Mobile Suit Gundam. I don't watch Mobile Suit Gundam honestly a lot, but
and had many
big,
other.
I do know that it's a big title. He's in Naruto Shippuden too. That's Tenji. He's the voice of Tenji.
Profile roles like Final Fantasy VII.
Let me make sure I'm thinking about the same one. Freaking Tenji. This fool. What are the two brothers? What the frick? What is this? Like freaking the internet, dude. Alright.
Naruto Shippuden, etc. He was an accomplished voice actor by all means. However, all of that came crashing down in 2019 when Chris was 30 years old. Overnight, many of his high-profile roles were immediately replaced with other voice actors, and he was pretty much excommunicated from the industry. This was a very big deal in the voice acting community.
Following confessions of emotional and physical abuse, the voice of the male character in
Nintendo didn't want to work with him anymore because he showed up.
Here's what I don't get, bro. Like you start like you start like at a certain point. I feel like you would think that at a certain point you start to get all these roles and all these jobs and all these really cool situations. Like you finally make it. You know, like what's that one tiger guy that was a VTuber? Like bro might not have been like on an Iron Mouse level of VTuber. He might not have been a VShojo level VTuber. But he had thousands of people watching him and maybe even made money. And it's like, you would think that most people would be like, dude, aren't I just so freaking fortunate that I get to freaking do it? This is now a job. I get to I make money this, like, you know, you make money this way. You actually get to pay off your rent this way. And then you just like ruin it by just being a douche. It's like Dr. Disrespect. It's just like, did you have to? Did that really was that really the move? Did you not have enough? Was it not good enough? Did having the freaking fancy cars, the really nice cars, the hot wife, Tora? I'll tell you, Tora. I'm talking about Tora. Like he wasn't huge, he wasn't ginormous, but bro, but from the very beginning, from the get, dude was huge. Even when he had his like little hoodie figure, like he got pretty big pretty quickly. Not like me. Most VTubers that I've seen that get popular blow up early on. 1,000 subscribers, like nothing. Me, I'm freaking like I'm grinding slowly, bro. My train has derailed like 2 or 3 times on the way. It's broken down. The freaking engineer like got drunk and fell off the freaking train, so he had to like run on. He had to catch up to the train on foot. You get me? We ran out of coal, so we had to start chopping down trees along the way to make charcoal. You get me? Like, our train is not freaking going quickly, but it's chugging along. It's going. It's going. All right, the train keeps driving. But all these other freaking VTubers that I see, you'll notice that they show up. They're like, hey, and then like thousands of subscribers, and then they're just like, yeah, also I'm a douche, and it's like, well, freaking, don't what it like. They really, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, you're sitting over here not really like committing crimes and posting them up on Kick, and you're just like, all right, well, apparently people don't want to see that.
Off the fact that he got cast in Fire Emblem in his
You know what I mean? I'm just over here not committing crimes and uploading it to Kick. Screw me, I guess.
Discord when he wasn't supposed to. But all the other roles he lost weren't because of that. They were because of a way more concerning problem. The real trigger for this entire controversy.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I have to start
to make
like
someone as skilled as
maybe I need to start getting into controversy.
All these roles overnight.
People can smell it. They can feel it in the confidence in your voice.
Tumblr. Zero Incorporated.
You know what I mean? People be like, ah, yeah, I could tell he's committed a couple crimes. He's done some stuff. All right, cool. I'm gonna follow. I'm a sub to them. I want to see that. I want to see what happens when they
with the title. Chris Niosi is an emotionally
can't wait for this bastard to fall.
July 16th, 2019.
Is that what it is? People just go and when someone's controversial, they go and subscribe to them just to see the fall. They want to see the fall. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like when Mr. Beast gets canceled and he gets more subscribers.
The beginning of the end for Chris, his career, and his reputation. Let's read. Chris Niosi is abusive, and people need to know the truth about him.
We finally get to see like what exactly bro has done. Like, it did. I need to know this part.
And I am, hopefully, his last ex-girlfriend. I dated him from September 2017 to April 2019, and it was a miserable experience to say the least.
She really said, I hope bro becomes an incel after this. I hope nobody wants to get near his sausage with a 10-foot pole. I avoid, ladies.
Least. I try to be an open-minded person with an even more open heart, but that was a waste of effort because this man is a piece of shit, and it is entirely his choice to be one. I knew Chris Niosi for several years, but I'm not going into the full history of our relationship. What matters is how he treats women behind closed doors and that he shouldn't be able to keep getting away with it. Overall, he was a shitty boyfriend, but sucking at dating isn't a crime, so I'm only going to talk about the things people deserve to know about him. She's pretty much saying like, yeah, dude, listen, he does suck at dating, all right? This is a fact, but it shouldn't be enough of a reason to hate him. So let me say what actually...
He was a shitty boyfriend, but that's just his personality type. That's not even his crimes.
He actually did wrong. All right, let's get into it. So, number 1, Chris Niosi has obvious anger management problems and would snap and blow up at the smallest things. He would tell me that's just how I am, and that I needed to deal with it. I hated playing Smash with him because I would win most of the time and he would rage and scream at the top of his lungs. Near the end of our relationship, I was fearful of his meltdowns every day. Point 2.
As someone who honestly and earnestly had some like anger management issues for a while, like it's one thing to be like you know, I'm sorry, it's on me, I was being a douche, I'm gonna get better, I need to learn to control myself. But then it happens again, and it's the same apology, and then it happens a third time, then a fourth time, then a fifth time, then a sixth time, then a seventh time, then an eighth time, and a ninth time, and a 10th time, and it's like, all right, well, when the frick are you actually gonna change? Because if you're not actually like, it's one thing to be like, I promise you I'm gonna change, and it's another thing to actually like change for the like. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy. But it, even though it takes time, you can learn to control your emotions and stuff, and like channel it into something different. It takes a while, trust me, but you can learn discipline when it comes to like anger management and stuff. At least I did, and I didn't have like the worst freaking like, I didn't freaking like go flipping off, but especially when I was younger, I used to freaking punch holes in walls. I used to punch holes in walls and doors, and so like I was definitely like an angry kid in my youth. As a 28-year-old old man, I understand anger, but that's I feel like especially throwing that at someone in a physical way, it's just inexcusable. I never, even at my worst, I feel like I never really saw myself hitting anyone or hurting somebody else. But I've also like that's also I've always been very like since I was a very a little baby babu. Parents have always told me, "Yo, hands to your damn self. Never, no, don't touch nobody. Don't touch nothing. If it ain't yours, don't touch it. Don't touch nothing. Not in the market. Not in the don't touch no people. Don't touch nothing. Somebody drops something on the floor, don't pick it up. You let them pick it up because then all of a sudden you get blamed for trying to take it. You get me? You're like, no, you don't touch nothing. So maybe that's
he would try to
something
manipulate me whenever I told him I had an issue with his behavior. I would tell him things like, "I have to walk on eggshells around you," and he would turn it around and say, "But I'm walking on eggshells around you," to try to make me out to be the bad.
Oh, really? Tried to pull a Donald Trump? No, you're the one. Guy. It's not me. It's you.
He always tried to avoid taking responsibility for shitty things he's done. Point 3. Chris Niosi had no respect for
bro, you block and reverse. Block and reverse. Count. Always. It's never my fault. It's always got to be your fault, okay?
Bodily autonomy. I have a full-time job, and when I came home from work,
to show you how little that matters
at the end of the day.
Well, unless Hoyoverse genuinely wanted to, like, do something, but that's really just there to protect Hoyoverse if they actually wanted to, like, I just don't know how much of it would be worth it for them to sue this guy,
Jump on me the second I walked in. All I wanted was a little time to decompress from the day and get a shower, but he would grope me every single day despite my protest. I told him to please not do that many, many times. He would pout and argue and continue doing it anyway. Point 4.
It's like, it's one thing to be like, you do need consent for that. Understandably, if someone's your girlfriend, you feel like you're owed. You're not really owed, but you feel like you have a little bit more freedom to try to coerce that out of somebody. You get me? You could try to beg for sexy time, so to speak. But it speaks a whole nother volume if your girlfriend don't even want you touching her. You get me? Like, what is that? Like, me personally, if that's happening, I also have to like wonder personally, like, how, did I mess up this relationship? Because like, she don't even want to do sexy time. You get me? Like, if she don't even want you touching her, like, that just speaks volumes to what's happening in your relationship, bro. Like, you really shouldn't be trying to force
it. Chris Niosi lied to me twice.
Maybe you should be rethinking it.
I never had a problem with their friendship to begin with, and he told me, without any questioning
on
my
part,
that they only talked once a month.
You gotta rethink things a little bit.
Bold-faced lie, and he was speaking to her every single day of our relationship. He claimed he didn't realize how often he was talking to her.
Son, that's some BS. That's some BS. The moment you get into a relationship, all exes have to disappear. I'm sorry. And that goes both ways. That goes both ways. I'm sorry, but it's never going to be good. There is never going to be a situation where that's going to be a good thing. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's like the 1 in a million chance that you're like, oh, I became friends with my ex and we had a genuinely great friendship while also me dating my current boyfriend or husband or whatever the frick. But let's be completely honest. Once you get that boyfriend or husband and you start to get into a serious relationship and it's actually serious, there's not going to be any need for that friend, that ex, like he does not need that lady friend, ex-girlfriend in his life if he's already got this girlfriend. And like, what do you mean? There's gonna be some old feelings there. There's gonna be some feelings that are still stuck up. Like, you can't tell me there's not. It just doesn't work that way.
I would believe such nonsense.
You wouldn't be
human. He was
human.
Intentionally hiding this from me, and also probably her. I believe she was not aware of what he was doing either. Point 5. I asked him to set boundaries with his ex, and he battled me so much that I asked him to cut contact completely. He fought tooth and nail to keep talking to her despite how much this shit was damaging me, and he even called me the
Yeah, nah. If this was on the other hand, like if she was doing this to him, I would be telling him she's for the streets, you feel me? So I gotta tell you the same thing, girl. Like, he's for the streets. Like, he ain't boyfriend material right there.
Unreasonable one. She contacted him one day out of the blue, and he came to my office to take me out to lunch, only to keep me hostage in front of my office.
Like, bare minimum, just to make my significant other, my partner, more comfortable in our relationship, I would set boundaries. If she asked for boundaries, that's more than reasonable. And now, and to the point where she had to, but the fact that he battled her so much on it, she asked him to cut like, so she didn't even ask for him to cut off contact completely. You feel me? Which means she could still be invited over for barbecues, and that's okay. But now she's gonna be even more suspicious. The fact that you're like battling so hard to keep that bridge, like, you know what I mean? It's suspicious. It's suspicious. She's gonna feel uncomfortable. She's gonna feel insecure about it. And as a boyfriend, you should want to make her feel comfortable in the relationship at all times, I feel like.
This building that I must give him my blessing to respond to her. He refused to take no as an answer and was shouting at me. I felt forced to say yes, even though I truly did not want to.
To be fair, I wouldn't want my girlfriend to I wouldn't want to have to like clear my freaking text messages with my girlfriend every time I send a message. Like, I wouldn't want to do that to my significant other. I wouldn't want to be like, let me see your text message before you get to send it. Like, I wouldn't do that. That just seems icky to me. That just seems like I'm controlling another person. That feels like I'm controlling you, and I don't like that. I don't like doing that. That shit's annoying. I don't like it when my managers, bosses do it to me at work. I wouldn't want to do that to somebody else. You know, micromanaging. I feel like it's micromanaging a relationship. Like, don't micromanage my text messages. Get out of my face. So I wouldn't want to do that to somebody else. I wouldn't want somebody else doing that to me. But at the same time, I gotta understand her, because bro is really acting hella suspicious. Like, this is on some like, you make it like, if you're not cheating, you're definitely making it suspicious. Like, you are the worst. If you're not cheating, you are making it seem like you are. You know, I don't know what the freak, but you make you like, I don't know.
Or else he would continue making a
I
scene
can understand
in
where
front
she's
of
coming
my
from.
workplace. Wow, dude. Okay. Point 6. He complained anytime I wanted some time to myself. He gets so much more free time than me, and whenever I wanted some damn space, he would constantly try to butt in and gripe that I'm not spending time with him. I explained to him several times that I should be allowed to have just a tiny ounce of solitude. Never listened. He was also jealous of my friends and would whine anytime I wanted to hang out with them without him. According to Chris, my world had to absolutely revolve around him and never deviate. Point 7.
Nah, son, there's got to be, in every single scenario, in every single relationship, there's got to be, like, one moment where it's like, it's me and my boys. It's just me and my boys. And this works for everybody, by the way. I've seen it in, like, I've seen it in lesbian relationships, too. So this works in every way. There's, like, a night for my boys and a night for the gals. No matter who it is, you're gonna have, like, you might have some intermingling friends. It's a bit more difficult there. It's a bit more challenging there. When you have, like, you know, that 70 show type of situation where it's like you have the same group of friends and you're just dating in that same group of friends. A bit more difficult there. A bit more difficult because, you know, you see, you're all friends with everybody. But if you have your own, like, you know, you got your boys here, this is your group of friends, and they got their group of friends, that's their boys, that's their girls, then there you go. Then you gotta have certain nights where, like, she invites all the ladies over and they're doing their thing, and you just get lost. You feel me? You get lost. You go have a beer with the boys or something, because you gotta give them their time. You gotta have your time for your boys. You got me? You have to. It's a natural part of everything. You're gonna get freaking tired of hanging out with each other 24/7. It's human nature. Why do you think there's been so many divorces after the whole Rona situation? Because people were stuck inside with nothing to do except to be with their partner, and they got sick of each other. It's just natural. You're gonna get sick of the other person. You don't think cellmates get sick of each other in prison? Come on.
7. He once physically manhandled me in front of my friends at a get-together because I wanted to get a drink. I stood up and he forcefully pushed me back down and scolded me in full view of my friends. I was extremely embarrassed. Point 8. Chris Niosi made it extremely
Nah, first of all, First of all, it's not okay. Like, nah, that's disrespectful as I'll get out. That's disrespectful. It's embarrassing. It's dehumanizing. Like, I don't even like at least me and my family, the way I was raised, we don't even scold our kids in front of people. We're those kinds of freaking like Mexicans where it's like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Watch when we get home. You feel me? Watch when we get home. Keep doing what you're doing. Watch when we get home. And then you talk to them there. Like, what was that? Oh, you're grounded? You're not gonna freaking play in the Nintendos? Why? It's like, what do you mean why? Look, I freaking told you like 5 times to stop freaking kicking the neighbor's dog or whatever, and you freaking kicked the neighbor's dog like 5 times. No, you're not getting your Nintendos for a week. Freaking, as soon as you get home, we're gonna sign you up for freaking after school, freaking tutoring now too. Like all kinds of you make all kinds of stuff. But point being, you don't freaking like embarrass the kids in front of other people, especially not in front of their friends at the park, whatever the frick. Like that's just embarrassing. You tell them, yeah, you speak up to them. Like if your partner's drinking too much or something, I can understand you being like, hey, yo, you're drinking way too much. You're getting out of pocket. You're getting out of line. Like you gotta chill, or like we gotta start heading out or something. I understand you pull them aside and you talk to them, but it's a whole other thing to be like you don't start scolding them in front of other people, especially not in front of their friends. That's disrespectful.
Really difficult for me to get to know his friends. I clicked with some of them, and others I needed more time.
This the same guy? The same guy we're talking about right now, Chris? Y'all can pause and read this. I'm gonna quickly speed read through this. I get trying to garner sympathy points. I'm glad that he's telling people to leave the people that defended him alone. Though, yeah, they definitely should not have been defending him. That was stupid of them to do that without having all the facts straight first. But still, their only crime is being stupid and not looking into something. It's being ignorant. Yeah, see, the problem is that they're always rehabilitating, aren't they? They're always healing. They're always trying to be a better person, but they never actually become a better person. They're just always trying. It's not that I don't believe that people can't change. They definitely can. Absolutely. It's just some people tend to, you know, once what is it? Once is a mistake, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. You get me? Like it's starting to get a little too crazy. It's a little too much. Yeah. 10 years? 10 years? You know what? You know what's one thing I'm not seeing here at all, which is interesting. I see no apology. Let me. Am I losing my mind here? Didn't apologize to the victims. Didn't even bring them up. Didn't even bring up what he did. He just says those I have hurt in the past. Doesn't apologize to any of them. Doesn't apologize for any crimes he committed or actions he's done. Doesn't mention the victims. Doesn't do anything. Just a whole bunch of just dancing around the facts. Nothing. People whose trust I have irrevocably broken. Like none of this. There are people who justifiable pain and anger cannot be healed. But please know that I remain committed to lifelong work of rehabilitating myself. Yeah, no, this is just this is just a whole. This is just another case of like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I swear, I change. I swear. She gets jump scared by his voice on Netflix autoplay. That's gotta suck, dude. It's like soldiers who are shell shocked. You just hear your abusive boyfriend's voice and you just freaking duck for cover. Exactly, exactly. It's always been selfish damage control to keep ill-gotten gains and never about actually doing the right thing. He's not like there was no apology in that statement at all. It was just him being like doing a very freaking like PR statement. Yeah, I never did anything criminal. Like again, not being charged with a crime has nothing to do with it. Unless they have Terra here has like some pretty undeniable evidence that she can bring up in a court of law and like actually pursue some kind of charges. Otherwise, it's just her word and also your word because it seems like you admitted it in the old Reddit post. Not in this one, obviously. You kind of just like you're such a nothing burger sandwich of a statement, honestly.
To hit things off, but that was a problem for Chris. He would argue with me every time we came home from seeing his friends that I wasn't trying hard enough and not talking enough. So many arguments. I could not for the life of me understand why he got so upset that I didn't meet his bizarre standards for communicating with his friends. It made every encounter with them more and more stressful to the point that I was too afraid to see them anymore. They did nothing wrong. This was entirely on him. Point 9. Worst of all, Chris Niosi was planning to take advantage of me when I was very intoxicated on my birthday last year. He even tried to tell a friend that he had implied permission from me when confronted about it, which is absolutely not true. That only gave me confirmation he knew exactly what he was doing. Thankfully, I was aware at the time to tell him to back off, but it disturbs me to this day that he saw me being drunk on my birthday as an opportunity. Chris Niosi is a...
How do you not discuss that with your partner before the fact? Because it's kind of like I get what like the quote unquote implication can be, where it's like, you know, what is the song like, birthday, birthday, you know, it's like it's a meme, it's a joke, we get it, yeah, but it's kind of like it becomes a whole weird pervy thing when you start to like make plans about doing it, you know. It's like it's your girlfriend. If you get the mood right and you do a little bit of foreplay, you know, a little bit of like giggles, you have a good time, you have some fun, you can get her in the right mood, you know, you get her some chocolate strawberry, you know, you do the whole nine, you go for the whole romantic vibe on her birthday, you could get her into the mood. But that's like you putting in the effort to get her into the mood and doing the role play and the foreplay and like doing it's a whole different vibe to just be like, oh yeah, but when she gets freaking hammered, when she gets drunk, I got a chance to freaking do whatever I want. It's like, no, bro, that's just creepy. Even if it's your girlfriend, that's just creepy. Like, what? That sucks.
Person, and he knows it.
That sucks that she had like, this is her boyfriend, and yet she has to like button up her blouse and like be scared of like getting taken advantage of by her own boyfriend on her. But you get what I'm saying? How do you live like that? That's just messed up. That sounds like such a terrible relationship to be in.
But I refuse to believe it.
Oh,
he doesn't get to claim ignorance and abuse women. Everything was intentional. I decided I had enough and moved on, and he tried every trick in the book to manipulate me into staying. After I broke up with him,
and it's good that you left. That sounds like absolute torture.
He couldn't even respect me enough to give me distance. He was aggressive about taking me out to dinner and asked me out at least 3 times in the week after I dumped him. And he also had the audacity to ask me to be friends.
3 times in 1 week is crazy though. I understand like give her a week. Now I understand like trying to text her back. You know, you're getting the glums, you're all sad and whatnot. But it's like, for what, bro? If you're just gonna be abusive, why do you want her back? Like, what, do you just want your punching bag back?
With
like, if you're not gonna treat her right, what's the point?
No respect, no remorse.
Why?
He knew exactly what he was doing at every turn. He chooses to be an asshole and will continue to do so until he dies. This man will never change. It's who he is, and he clearly prefers it that way. She then ends this statement by saying this: I have absolutely no reason to make this up. None. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just maybe consider the many words of many people when they say Chris Niosi is an abusive man who will continue to use and abuse other people. He needs to come clean about all the horrible things he has done. To those who want to give him another chance and hope to see him better himself, I sincerely wish you the best. I know I tried. Thank you for reading. Yeah. That's a lot to take in, right?
I would like to see his response to this. And again, similar to the currently ongoing Mr. Beast allegations, I think it's very important in these instances to make an appropriate response. There has to be a response. You can't not respond. It's just a very bad look if you don't. And the more intricate and detailed the response is, the better. I want to see what the response to this is. Specifically this.
Things are so nasty because you're pretty much being pushed into a private relationship of two people and are seeing all the ugly things that happen there.
I just don't get what's the point. Why stay in the relationship? If you're constantly pissed off at your girlfriend, it's obviously giving you a bad time. Why do you want that? Why do you want to keep the negativity? You just like living in that like misery? Because it obviously doesn't make Chris happy. Otherwise he wouldn't be yelling and screaming and scolding her in front of her friends. You get me? You don't do that if you're freaking happy. So why? Why continue it? Why do you want to stay in that relationship? I don't get it.
But granted, this isn't enough to take someone down. Not anymore, at least. People these days require more proof than just he said, she said. This is why many people chose to not believe the person accusing the Diluc voice actor.
You absolutely need more than just a he said, she said. But that's why it's important to see what their response is. You get me?
Of committing the things they were
without a
response
response.
There have been too many cases.
You really got nothing except for allegations.
Years where someone claims something and gets proven wrong, even after having done so much damage to the person they're accusing. And let's be real here, who in 2019 would have seen this Tumblr post? Who even uses Tumblr anymore? This wasn't going to end his career outright. What changes everything here, though, as I mentioned before, is the fact that he admitted to all this. The next day, he just came clean. Chris made this.
And there you go. So here's our response. There you go. Here we go. All right, let's go. Let's see. Mujin might be reading over it. Let's see.
Post on his Kerbifer account saying, "It's time that I apologize to all of the people I've hurt." Bear in mind, this post got deleted. right? The only reason you can see it is because it was reblogged by Ultra Eric the Red. And ironically, what shows up on Google on the second page is actually the repost from Eric the Red, right? Like the post itself, if you copy the link and were to go to it, it says it's gone. And it just links you back to Kerbifer's profile. I don't know when he...
So he tried disappearing it. That's one of those things where I think just as a sign of good faith, you sort of live with that, don't you think? Like, I don't know. Like, is that like a badge of dishonor you have to wear for the rest of your life, I guess? But especially to the victims, I can see them being like, oh, this is absolutely you trying to hide your past now. You get me? Because he's trying to get more jobs. He's trying to get more opportunities with MiHoYo here. So it's pretty obvious what he's trying to do. He's trying to, like, sweep it under the rug. You get me? Your actions speak a lot louder than your words, so to speak.
He deleted it specifically, but all I know is that you can't find it anymore on his profile. So thank you to Ultra Eric the Red for preserving this piece of evidence. This is a long post, but it's very important for you to understand every word in here because this is why people are mad. This is why people are very furious at Hoyoverse to have cast him even after 5 years. This is him.
Okay, and I don't know if he's gonna read it, but I'm gonna quickly. I'll let him keep like talking for a bit, and then if he doesn't, I'm gonna read over it as well.
Admitting that he has been a horrible person, not just to Amy, but many other people. He also makes it worse for himself with crazy statements like the first sentence. Let's read. My name is Christopher Niosi,
he's gonna read it too.
Also known as Kerbifer. I am 30 years old, and for about half my lifetime, I have horribly
Okay, 30 years old as of the writing of that's 2019. That means right now Okay, so you were freaking no. You're talking about something you were doing this in your your early to late 20s, bro. Still.
Treated
nah, I feel like no. In your 20s, you should not be treating people like this. Even
friends, colleagues.
Again, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on the anger management stuff because as somebody who went through that stuff, I get it. You say some stupid things when you're in your youth. But like, come on, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you don't like scolding people in front of like their friends? That's just common sense. You don't do that stuff. Like, no.
And even my significant others. It is time that I addressed each and every
like you're a grown
one
adult.
of those people and responded to their feelings with individual apologies for what I've done to hurt them. This will be a master post containing all of the appropriate posts in one location so that the people they have been written for, along with anyone else who wishes to read them, can easily.
Yeah. You saying that he's also? I guess we're not at that portion yet. You're saying he's a PDF file?
Access the information. I will provide a foreword about everything. My most recent ex-girlfriend Amy and I broke up in April of this year. She decided to cut ties in May, shortly after. Finally, on Saturday of this past weekend, she decided to create a call-out post detailing the emotionally abusive things I did to her throughout our relationship. I decided that the right thing to do was to take responsibility for my actions and respond publicly. I took 2 full days to write an apology to Amy for all of the things I've done and posted it on Monday night. The following morning, I was besieged by Amy, many concerned people who left comments of their own, as well as several of the victims of my abusive behavior in the past. To come clean and apologize to everyone I've hurt, I have finally decided to do so. Before reading any of these,
So he's only, I want to, like, because right here, he's only specifying that there was emotional abuse. He's not admitting to any physical abuse. Very interesting wording, I want to say.
Ask that to anyone and everyone who sees this, including those I'm apologizing to please allow me to put some things out there that are likely to come off as selfish, I feel are very important. I know that my decision to do this is inherently going to come off as a PR stunt or some form of damage.
No. See, the fact that you're bringing this up means that that's the only thing on your mind, and that's the truth. See, not because freaking A. It's like If you treat it like a PR stunt, then yes, it's gonna be seen that way. If it's a genuine apology, then people are gonna see it as a genuine apology. But the fact that you're even over, like, this is already feels so freaking, like, orchestrated as a PR stunt. You get me? So just saying, hey, I know this looks like a PR stunt, because it is, doesn't mean, like, what do you mean? Every apology, every single apology, every public apology, it is a public, why do you think the apology is public? If it was not a PR stunt, you would be calling all the victims and privately telling them, hey, I am terribly sorry for the things that I've done. And if they want a public apology where you admit everything, that's separate. But any public apology is just by default is a PR move. There's no other reason for a public apology besides PR. You understand that, right? So this is like, what do you
control? While I can understand why people will think this, I want to assure you that it is not. This is not an attempt.
But see, this is such a bad apology because you're trying to act like we're stupid. Don't tell us the sky is green when we're looking at it and it's as blue as it gets. It is a PR stunt. Why are you trying to treat people like they stupid? This is why you're pissing people off.
To preserve my career or livelihood or my social standings with anybody, I have accepted that by talking about all of these things, my life is going to change and there will be consequences. More importantly, this is not an expectance of any form of forgiveness either, as I will be stating many times in several of these apologies that I do not expect any of the following people to forgive me for all I've done. This is about finally, for possibly the first time in my life, doing the right thing. It may also, for the first time in my life, be the first real step I'm taking to change, to become a better person.
And see, here's the thing. I guarantee you, he said the exact same thing to all of these ex-girlfriends. You get me? And that's the thing, is that you can apologize a million times, but if you don't actually change, then it didn't mean anything, did it?
Guys, bear in mind, this is someone who's 30 years old, okay? These
30.
statements are coming from someone who's not 20. He is 30 years old, right? You realize how huge this is.
Well, hopefully by the age of 40, he'll be a good person. Like, that's all. He just needs a little bit more time, you understand? He's only 30 years old. He doesn't know how to act yet. You feel me? He's still trying to get it right.
Right, for someone to say this is the first time in my life where I'm doing the right thing.
For the first time.
No one forced him to do that. His ex Amy in her statement, everyone who's come out against him over the years, no one has forced him to utter the sentence. It's such a crazy thing to say. Anyway, he continues. Most of the people I have written these apologies to have had call-out posts regarding their personal negative experiences with me for the last several years, and they have gone publicly unaddressed by me. I also state multiple times in these apologies that I understand full well my choosing to respond to them now as opposed to when they were first posted is far too late and long overdue. There is no denying or excusing that fact, but here, now, I genuinely want to make amends for all of the horrible things I have done. I'm going to share something sensitive that is related to my decision to do this, just as this is not intended to be a PR stunt. What I'm about to say is not in any way fabricated, nor is—
I love how you have to keep reminding us it's not a PR stunt, by the way. He just needs to make sure we're well aware of that.
It meant to manipulate readers or instill any kind of bias. It is simply the truth and I feel is relevant. I have only ever experienced 2 times where I felt legitimately suicidal. The first time was 5 years.
Oh, for crying out loud. I want to point out the fact that he started off this entire post saying he's going to apologize for all the things he has done, and then immediately switches over to this. Got it. Okay. Got it.
Years ago, the week I moved to California, not knowing how to handle the shock of seeing call-out posts directed towards me, thinking my life was over and that there—
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see. I see. So when the people you abused, both physically and emotionally, called you out on the internet, you felt really, really bad to the point where you wanted to unalive yourself. Oh man, see, that's just My heart goes out to you. He's obviously the victim here. Obviously. P.S. I don't care. Cancel me if you want. As somebody who's had 2 failed attempts at unaliving themselves, I get to talk shiz about this. Go screw yourself. You are not the victim here, bro. Okay. You understand how quickly he turned this into you should feel bad for me because all of my victims are calling me out on the internet. You should feel bad for me that all these people are calling me out on my crimes.
There would be no way to survive, and that I should die as penance. So as I already mentioned, and as he mentions here for the first time, his ex-girlfriend wasn't the first post calling him out and seeking to expose who he was to the public. If he had chosen to ignore her post...
Brother, he's genuinely trying to use that as some kind of a shield. As some kind... I'm sorry, but no. He's really trying to use this as some kind of a shield. He hasn't even finished apologizing in this statement before he's trying to like put up walls and barriers of like you can't like don't go, you can't be mean to me because of this and that and the other. How do you think all your partners felt, brother? Like he can't, like, come on.
Just like he had ignored all the other posts, then I don't think his career would have really been endangered. But it was too late for that now. He then continues, I survived it with the support of friends, but then I chose never to address the things that were said about me. They were people that were once my friends, significant others, people I looked up to, people who looked up to me, and all this time I stayed silent. However, the second time I felt suicidal was this past Monday night, a few hours before posting my apology to Amy. I had become so internally conflicted about if it was really the
A few hours before posting my apology to Amy. So, because you got called out again. Guys, stop calling me out on all of my crimes and bad behavior because it makes me feel bad.
the right thing to do or not. This time, not because of concern for it ruining my life, but because I wanted so badly to make amends and I didn't know if this would even be good enough. That if it was...
After being called out, that's when you so badly want to make amends. Not any time before that. Only when he gets called out and it becomes a big deal on the internet. That's when he suddenly starts to get these feelings. Got it. Okay.
Was truly sign of me wanting to actually change for real. The pressure was a feeling I have never experienced in my entire life and I will never forget it. I overcame this feeling and solidified my decision with 100% certainty. I needed to speak from my heart, so I seized this newfound resolve and I went ahead and posted it. Please understand, the reason I'm sharing this information about my mental state is not in any way to garner sympathy or
I love how bro's like, trust me, bro. I'm not doing this for sympathy points. I'm not doing it for pity points. I also want to let you know that I'm not doing this as a PR stunt, and it's definitely not a PR stunt, okay? Definitely not. Okay, what? Can we get to the apology? Are we ever gonna get to the apology or the admitting of the crimes, or are you just gonna keep putting, like, when are we getting to that bit?
Pity or appear as a victim? I am not the victim, I am the offender. I am sharing this information about the two moments.
Really? Because you haven't made it, you haven't apologized at all for any of the offenses. You've just been
I felt
setting yourself up as a victim,
that,
basically.
while I haven't changed enough, and it will absolutely not happen overnight, that the experience left a lasting impression on me that I am choosing to use in a positive way to really begin the change.
Oh, he's about to begin the change. By the way, he's barely about to begin the change. Now, and now that it's gonna begin, this time, I swear, it's like a gambler, bro. I swear, this time. You ever met those crackheads? Nah, bro, this time for sure, no more. I swear, no, this time when I get my check, I'm gonna take it straight to the savings account. I swear, bro. Not another rock. No, not one blue rock, bro. Not one.
I have wanted to become a better person for what feels like my entire life. It's not something that should be such a struggle,
invest it in
but
crypto.
somehow I've made it the most difficult thing in the world.
It's not gambling.
I may have learned and developed and improved in some aspects, but not enough. The damage I've caused and the abusive acts I've committed towards people that I cared about is evidence of that. If I want to be a decent human being, this is all only part of the first step. I have a lot more work to do.
It's all just a part of the first step. This is not even the first step, you understand? You understand? This is the... Sometimes you have to bring your own joy, bro. You gotta laugh. So this isn't even the first step. This is just part A. This is part A of step 1. You have to understand. There's multiple parts in step 1. You got part A, B, C, and D. If you don't have all 4 parts, it's like a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg. You got to put all 4 pieces together to finish step 1. You understand?
That I plan on diving into after I finish moving to a new house, but that's not the focus of this point. The point is,
well, you know, I'm probably gonna do a lot more. I'm gonna do a lot more apologizing and a lot more being a better person after I move into my brand new house that I got with all of the amazing voice acting roles that I got, all that money I got from all these amazing jobs that I do. Thank you, Hoyoverse. That Hoyo money gonna get me that new house. After I move into my brand new nice house, then I'll probably do more becoming a good person then. I promise you, I'll do more becoming a good person, a better person, when I move into my brand new house with that Hoyo money. I promise.
This is it. Taking responsibility for all the things I've done is only the beginning. If this entire thing is still just part of the first step, I want to do it right.
Listen, I am 100, if this person is genuinely feeling thoughts of unaliving themselves, please do not do nothing to hurt yourself. Nobody deserves that. And we should never, ever, ever want that kind of a result. Because that makes us a terrible person too. Never, ever. Okay? But I'm not gonna sit here and act like that was 100% genuine. I'll give you 98%. But the fact that he only feels this way whenever this controversy comes up, and he only feels that way every time he gets called out for it. You get me? And the fact that he has he keeps bringing it up instead of actually apologizing for the crimes that he committed. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the sky's not blue. You know it. I know it. We all know it. If he wants to talk about his emotions, his feelings, he should be going to a therapist. He should be discussing this with a therapist. He should be talking with friends. He should be talking with family. He should not be bringing it up and discussing it in the apology to his victims. You get me? I feel like that's reasonable. If he is genuinely having thoughts of unaliving himself, he should absolutely bring it up with his therapist. He should absolutely bring it up with his friends. He should absolutely bring it up with his family. He should definitely discuss these things. If he wanted to make a separate Twitter post discussing this, I would be more than that would be more than fair, because that is something he's going through. That is something he is feeling. However, when you are trying to put out an apology and you're putting all these freaking excuses and you haven't even apologized in the apology, come on. I'm not gonna freaking sit here and pretend like it's not what it is. That he's trying to garner sympathy for this.
No matter
I'm sorry for
what
being a
it
douche.
takes. So then, he links all the individual apologies he has made to people who have come out talking about him and their terrible.
That being said, the very moment, if you were saying earlier, if he has a PDF file, I'm not sure yet. I'm still watching the video, but if he has a PDF file, I fully stopped caring of any. I completely wash away my freaking hands of any freaking sympathy of any kind. I'm done. I'm done with you at that point. Full blown
experience with him.
Full
now,
blown.
According to Twitter and many Tumblr comments, this is barely scraping the surface. But for the time being, let's just pretend like
I always like to live with like a 5%. Even though I technically said I said what I say 98% earlier, but I always like to say if there's a 5% chance that you legitimately are having these feelings, go and speak to your therapist. Go get help for that. You absolutely should get help for that. Even if you're a piece of shiz, it is what it is. You should go speak to a therapy. But you get me, that's something you have to discuss with your therapist. It's not on other people to it's especially in I'm talking specifically in the cases of if you're actually a terrible human being, especially if you're a PDF file. It's not. I don't care. That's not I don't worry about you anymore. You don't exist anymore. You're out of my you don't exist, and I don't care about you anymore. You get me?
these are all the people that he abused over the years. Because I want to show you the variety.
Okay,
here.
you were referring to Sean Chiplock. Okay, so as far as if true, because I don't know nothing about that yet. If true, then as far as I'm concerned, Sean Chiplock, your mental health, your mental and physical well-being, all of that stuff, it doesn't exist. It's not. I don't care about it. You get me? I don't care. It doesn't exist to me. You could tell me that you're freaking feeling like the worst in the world. I do not care. I got no sympathy or care for PDF files.
Okay, so the first one's Amy, the person who made the post against him that we just finished reading, former girlfriend and employed editor. Then you have
again, as far as this dude goes, though, I'm saying, if you're having genuine bad thoughts, your thoughts can be legitimate, but you got to discuss that with your therapist, not on your apology post. Because what is this? This doesn't feel like he did not write this to his victims. Nothing about this feels like an apology to his victims. All of this just feels like he's putting up walls and shields and excuses. It doesn't feel like any of it is genuine.
The years. Because I want to show you the variety here, okay? So the first one's Amy, the person who made the post against him that we just finished reading, former girlford and employed editor.
Until we can maybe
Welker, former friend.
We can maybe look into that one. I'll try to have normally Monday Monkey mornings will be a little bit longer, which is why we can have these longer discussions.
Then you have Audrey Kerr, former girlfriend and employed animator.
Then
you have Kaylin
today
Denton,
I had a doctor's
former
appointment,
friend and
but next time we can look into some more situations about
John
that
Markle,
stuff.
fellow animator and former fan. And then you have another former fan, Anthony Logato. So these people ranged from anything of being an ex-partner to a co-worker to fans, right? And of course to friends. He then apologizes to his friends, his family, his fans, and says that
you notice how the apology is all the way down here. You feel me? I'm not saying this is I'm not trying to be like an armchair therapist, psychologist, I think is the word. Armchair psychologist here, where I'm getting into his mind. But isn't it weird how you put all this other junk at the top? Most people are not going to read that. They're not going to sit here and read through all this. The videos, you get me? How long, nobody's going to sit here and read all of this, go through all of that stuff, just to get down here to oh, okay, here's all the bad stuff you did. Most people are going to skip right past this on Twitter, on Tumblr, on whatever the freak. You get me? Why is all the apology, the actual crimes you committed, why is all that at the bottom?
he wants to use this space to cast an open call to anyone else that he's yet to address personally with a full apology. That he wants to do this until he makes amends with everyone he's affected over the years. And that he's not looking for forgiveness. He only hopes that he's taking the first true step.
Agreed, Mr. Gamer. A great example of that was the most recent. I feel douchey for even calling him out for this because again, you never fully know, and I hope he doesn't genuinely have these feelings. And if he does, I hope he speaks to a therapist. But Boogie298, whilst being called out for his various crimes and very bad actions, terrible actions, freaking tries to pull out a freaking knife with Mutahar and freaking Keemstar. Like, come on, brother, stop it, stop with that. If it's genuine, you need to speak to a therapist. You need to stop getting on the internet and speak to a therapist. And if it's not genuine, then that is disgusting behavior to you to try to like use that as some kind of like form of getting sympathy points. That is disgusting behavior. You get me?
To being a better person, and that he'll do
bro
his
needs
best
to step away from
to
the
never
internet
let
after
anyone else
like
down
now
or hurt anyone
now that he's
else
getting
he
to
can.
that point where he's freaking like threatening live on street. Like, bro, you gotta step away from the internet.
Cares about ever again. So I have to mention this, right? Not only was this post deleted, I don't know when exactly, but it was deleted. Every single one of these individual apologies also have been deleted and don't exist anymore. For example, if I were to click on Amy's apology, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But the internet does not forget. If I use the Wayback Machine, aka Web Archive, I can find every single one of these posts.
And now it's all on this video for Mugen. Hey, everything on the internet lives forever, baby! And now we get to react to it, and this will probably be like a 3-hour video that I'll probably upload for because my reaction videos are amazing. And
of course, every one of them
too.
is fairly lengthy. But for the sake of this video, I want to highlight one apology, right? You can check the other ones. I'm going to link them in the description, but I want to highlight one, which is the apology to his ex-girlfriend, the person who made the post we read initially, Amy. I think it's really important because it highlights who Chris is. He's gonna do this whole apology, and then his ex-girlfriend will actually respond in a very brutal way to his apology, to which he'll reply again. He's gonna get cornered, and you'll get to see how he acts when he is cornered. Because in the end, it's gonna be up to you to decide. You already know the drill. Let's do this. He starts it off by saying, Amy, I failed you. No amount of—
Taking a sip of water. I had something to say and started choking my own saliva. Yeah, no, you see, like, this is exactly what it is. You want to see their reactions. It's all about the responses and the reactions to getting called out and getting put in being confronted.
Apology I could ever give will ever make up for that. You were justified to leave me, and you were equally justified to cut ties with me. I was a terrible partner, and I made you feel awful. Thus, the absolute least I can do is to take full responsibility for my actions and respond to your feelings openly. I failed in treating you with real respect. You should not have had to put up with my childish temper day in and day out, and it's even worse than it made you fearful. It was never my intention to manipulate you, but that's no excuse. It was my fault you were made to feel this way. I should have taken more responsibility for my toxic behavior and changed. You did not, at any point, ever deserve to be treated that way, because none of it—
Are you actually saying anything? My childish temper made you fearful. Never my intention to manipulate you. My fault. You were made to feel this way. Toxic behavior. Did not deserve to be treated that way. He's not actually saying what he did or the crime. He's not actually confessing to the crime, to his actions, or taking responsibility. Taking responsibility would be saying, I manipulated you, I threw temper tantrums and lashed out at you, and I apologize for that, because it was a terrible thing to do, and it was a terrible way to treat a human being. I'm disgusted at my behavior, and you in no way deserve to be treated that way. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. I have not, since then, I have changed, and I have not continued to act this way. Uh-oh. Are we still live on YouTube? I got a warning that some of my videos got taken down. Which one got taken down? Hold on. We're still live, right? I'm not. Video title, what would you do? What would you do? Which one's that one? I'm not down, right? Okay, the stream's still good. Alright, cool. I got scared for a second there. I'm like, not again! Okay, see, dude, I'm scared of reacting to anything on YouTube for this specific reason. So one of my videos got flagged. I don't know which one it is. Anyway, I lost my point because I got scared. YouTube scared me. Anyway, keep playing.
It was your fault. He then continues, I failed in
What the
listening
frick
to
I
you. I
played?
deeply regret this because I feel I could have avoided so many of these problems if I had just really, truly listened. But I didn't. I wasn't there for you at a time when you needed me for emotional support over something as insignificant as a party and a long drive. I'm ashamed to have left my own partner alone when she asked me to be there for her. I was immature and selfish in how I never gave you enough of the space or personal time you needed, all while constantly bombarding you with my attention-seeking nonsense. My needy pining.
Alright, we'll discuss that after this.
For not only your physical but emotional affection was so disrespectful, and the way I would immaturely express myself about it was pathetic. Most of all, I couldn't even respect your one request of me to lay off you when you would get home from work. I was supposed to care for you, and ultimately I acted.
Rick, I got another strike for reacting to an animation? Six true unnerving horror stories. Animated. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. I didn't know you didn't want people to react to your animation. My bad, dude. I mean, shoot. You could have just just message me, bro. Why you gotta strike me? All right. I guess it's fair. If he doesn't want me to freaking react to his stuff, I won't react to it. I just freaking.
It's spoiled and self-serving, putting myself before you.
Could
I
have
failed
messaged
at
me.
keeping your trust, the most important thing to me, the thing that our friendship was founded on well before our relationship. I ignorantly betrayed it. I never intended to mislead or keep anything from you, but it doesn't matter because a lie is still a lie, and I understand full well how much that hurt you. Once again, I was selfish and placed several other people's importance before yours, when you should have always been my #1 priority. In addition, I could have and should have trusted you more in return. My jealousy and paranoia of your own life choices ran out of control. I should have been more supportive to the life you were forming for yourself and not been so obsessed with having you just be a part of my life and my friend.
He never actually fully admits to what he has done. It's always just trying to skirt around it, apologize for the consequences that occurred after the fact, whereas, never actually admitting to anything that he's done.
And my world. I failed at making you feel loved. This is exemplary of my lack of respect, my lack of listening, and my lack of trust. I thrust you into a completely new environment out of your comfort zone, all the while thinking that I was helping you when in reality I was mounting utterly unnecessary pressure on you. I would embarrass you like a complete idiot in front of both your friends and mine. I wasn't patient or understanding.
You see how he's saying I would embarrass you in front of you? Like, he doesn't actually say I yelled at you in front of your friends. He doesn't actually, it's always gonna be trying to downplay it. He's always trying to go around it without actually admitting to what he actually did. You know what I'm saying?
Ignorant and unfair to you. The amount of needless arguments I sparked when I should have just been calm and inviting was ridiculous. This was entirely on me. I thought that inviting you into my life and everything that came with it would be a heaven, but instead all of my stupid actions made it into a nightmare. There is no excuse for the way I made you feel while you were living in what should have been a place of happiness. This is where it gets somewhat interesting, because he's talking about one of the worst things in his ex-girlfriend's statement, which is him taking advantage of her while she was drunk. He says, "There is one specific point that I wish to go into further detail on. Regarding what happened on your birthday, I never once believed I had any form of implied permission to do anything like that to you. Somehow this wasn't communicated properly, and I deeply apologize for that. I swear to you, I never thought that and never had any intention of doing such a thing. Even that aside, while I know I have done a lot of horrible things, especially to you, I also know that I did not and would never, ever in my life try to sexually take advantage of anyone. But the fact that the takeaway from what I hoped was going to be a really special day for you is something as heinous as that, I have no words. I am so sorry that I somehow gave you the impression that I had such intentions, and I'm sorry that I made you feel that way." Listen, I don't know why, but this just makes me laugh. I don't know, am I twisted? Am I crazy? I'm so sorry that I somehow gave you the impression, right? Look, there needs to be proof at a certain point when you are making such a big accusation, but the fact that her perspective differs so much from his perspective in this regard is crazy, right? It's not even on the same wavelength. From his perspective, there was nothing indicating this. From her perspective, it was very clear to her, and it was one of the main reasons why she ended up breaking up with him. It's just crazy sometimes how the two sides of the same story can be so different. We'll revisit this later when she replies. He then continues in the post and says, With all of that said, the thing I'm most upset about is the fact that the impression I left on you by the end of our time together is that I never really cared about you. That, more than anything, is why I failed you. I have no reason to blame you for feeling that way about me, and I'm deeply ashamed that I drove you to this. I couldn't even maintain what I genuinely wanted to be a close friendship, to just be someone who'd at least be a positive influence in your life, breaking your trust even further by asking something as ridiculous as if you wanted to be friends with benefits. But then failing further and further with every opportunity I had to be a friend to you. I can't believe I did this. Just as much as you can probably never forgive me for any of this, I too may never be able to forgive myself either. He continues to self-admit,
I'm also not gonna be able to forgive myself. Oh, woe is me. I'm such a... I freaking... You and I are both angry at me.
that even though it wasn't his intention, there is no obliviousness to claim here. And this is something he'll mention a lot, his intentions, right? It wasn't my intention to do this. It wasn't my intention to come off like this. Well, what were your real intentions though? That's the question, right? Anyway, he says, I knew what I was doing, but realized far too late the full impact of my actions had on you time and time again.
It wasn't my intention. Though I knew exactly what I was doing, it wasn't my intention.
It doesn't matter how much I prattled on and on with excuses and justifications about how I was always trying to improve and learn from the mistakes I made. I should have paid closer attention. I should have worked harder to fix the issues we had, especially when you gave me so many chances. But I failed. If I could have been able to tell all of this to you in person or over spoken word, I would have, but I respected your wishes of never speaking to you or interfering with your life again as you requested when you last contacted me. Yeah,
This is your fault. It's your fault I haven't apologized to you. You told me not to talk to you ever again, so I decided never to apologize to you or make a public statement about the fact of stuff I did.
Because you asked her to be friends with benefits after she left you. I wanted to honor that request after seeing the results of my actions, since trying to fix it.
So he kept asking to be friends with benefits, and that's why she said, "Don't just leave me alone." He's like, "Now it's your fault that I didn't apologize because you wouldn't you told me not to talk to you after I kept asking you to get freaky with me."
It was out of the question at that point. But now that it's come to this is the absolute least I can do to start with, and I know full well it's not enough. If there's anything else I could ever do to make up for all I did to hurt you, I would do it in a heartbeat. I can only hope that now you can truly be happy. That's what you deserve. Almost at the end, guys. We almost made it. Good job. To everyone else who has now read both Amy's words and my response, I know I've let you all down. Again, an apology alone isn't good enough. Making amends for this requires...
Yeah, it's not a PR move. Now let me address the audience, the community. Because obviously, it's important to make sure you apologize to them, because for some reason we're the ones that freaking deserve apologies here.
Serious change in me. I have to change. This is it. I have been going back to my therapist to try and work hard.
Remember, not a PR move.
Than ever at being a better person, a decent human being, so that something like this never happens to another person I love. Something so simple should not be such a struggle, but I've lost so many friends, colleagues, and even partners over awful behavior like this. The amount...
Oh, woe is me! I've lost so many friends, so many colleagues, so many wonderful relationships that I've destroyed, all because of awful behavior. I mean, it was my awful behavior. I did it, right? That was me. But it was awful behavior. Oh my goodness, dude. Woe is me.
The amount of relationships I've destroyed is living evidence that I absolutely need to do better. This is why I've chosen to own this and take responsibility. This is the right thing to do. I want more than anything.
I've chosen to own this, even though I didn't actually admit to doing anything. I just sort of apologized for the circumstances, but never really actually said I did anything.
To finally be a good person. Again, this is so weird coming from someone who's 30 years old. You know, it really... I always have to do a double take and be like, wait, how old is he again? He continues.
Yeah, at 30 years old, he's finally going to get it right.
Countless people to simply be a positive influence on others' lives.
He couldn't get it right. He wasn't getting it right.
I'm going to keep
but
trying,
now he's going to get it right.
no matter what. It's been because of my own choices that I've been the person I am, but I cannot be the same person until the day I die. I need to continue forward and just be better. To anyone and everyone who took the time to read through this, if you wish to disassociate with me, you are fully justified and I bear no ill will. I know there will be consequences for this and I accept them. If you wish to continue giving me another chance, then I will not waste your time asking for forgiveness or to wish me luck or offer any more meaningless apologies. I promise I will keep doing my best to not let anyone else down again. Thank you, Chris Kerbifer Niosi. This, of course, didn't go
So then, I would like to know, just out of genuine curiosity, how long after this was out did he delete it? And then how soon after that did MiHoYo hire him to be a voice actor? Because it also stands to reason that, because I get that people want to like involve Hoyoverse here, and they want to be like, Hoyo, how freaking dare you? But let's be completely honest here. Alright, and I'm not a big like pro company, pro corporation monkey, alright? But let's be completely honest. There's a certain like reasonable limit of like they're hiring a voice actor. You freaking do a quick Google search. You get me? You don't see anything, any huge headlines, any pop-up news. You're hiring a lot of people. You get what I'm saying? I can give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt when it comes to this, because they might not have seen or heard the reputation or what's going on. Now, the fact that none of the people that were like defending him bothered to go further than 2 Google pages after this was brought up again, that's on them. But it seems like, at least Hoyoverse, once it got brought up again, they at least did two Google pages worth of research and found out about this. You get what I'm saying? He believes nothing he did was criminal. I love how I love how we're like pushing the goalpost further back now. You see, because we all know it's a shitty thing to do, and it's a terrible thing to do, and he's a garbage person for doing it. But now the goalpost it's been pushed back. Now it's not criminal. It's not illegal. It might still be illegal if they decide to pursue any charges and have any evidence. That's not like. That doesn't mean you're innocent of anything, okay? That doesn't mean you're morally incorrect because you didn't get arrested for it, bro.
Smoothly as he had hoped. I'm sure he wanted to just make this apology and move on, but his ex wasn't just gonna let him get through this as easily as he thought. Amy replied, saying, I read your post. I read it at least 5 times, in fact, and I am not impressed. This is an apology for being a bad boyfriend, not an abusive boyfriend.
Yes.
Did you even notice that the words abusive or abuse don't even come up in your post? Of course you did.
He used so much language to skirt around everything, bro. Such a bad apology.
You're trying to pass this off as you being subpar at relationships, and not the fact that you were emotionally abusive to me. You are dismissing the one thing people are concerned about. Claiming that what happened on my birthday was a miscommunication is a weak excuse. Very, very weak. If you really want to go there, I will remind you that on June 11th, 2018, after Sony's E3 conference, I was drunk and you wanted to have sex. We attempted and I decided that drunk sex wasn't for me and said that I didn't wish to try that again. That was a rule we established. Drunk sex is off the table, and yet, on my...
Oh, nah, son. First of all, drunk sex is just begging to have a Chainsaw Man situation happen. I'm gonna be honest with everyone here. You're just asking to get vomit in your mouth. Like, just don't do it. Second of all, yeah, no, especially if it's been pre-established. Let me tell y'all something right now. Anything and everything you find out about your partner when it comes to sexy time, you better lock that in, baby. And I'm not talking about just consent stuff specifically, but if you find, like, even the little thing, you find out they have a particular tickler spot, you find out they got a specific spot that they're sensitive at, you gotta lock all that information into your dome. You got that needs to stay, that needs to all stay locked in there. All the do's and all the don'ts better be locked in like a freaking cage, bro. You gotta learn, like, that's one of the most important things to any relationship.
birthday.
As an incel myself, I can tell you that this is the absolute #1 thing that you should be concerning yourself about in relationships.
Later that year, you saw how intoxicated I was and thought you could try it anyway. Miscommunication?
Yes, besides the fact that, you know, it actually is a crime, you know.
No, I
To do that.
don't.
The fact that she specifically told you it's off the table pretty much negates any, like, this is like as illegal as it gets. She specifically told you she is not okay. Like, there is a specific denial of consent here. Makes it incredibly illegal.
Holy.
And if he actually did something and she wanted to pursue charges, she would be well within her legal rights to do so.
Man, am I the only one who feels awkward when a public couple has beef online and exposes all their intimate secrets? No? You do too? No way. We should be friends. Anyway, she then continues.
I am such a gossipy little bee. I'm a little chismoso. I'm a little chismoso monkey.
Mention you completely glossed over the part about how you kept me
because I hate I hate when things happen and you're just like, screw this, and then nobody else is mad about it and you're like, freaking yeah, you know what I mean?
Hostage in your car in front of my office building. Out of everything,
it should be more common sense. Yeah.
That was honestly the most horrifying thing you did to me. You forced me to do something I didn't want to do. I was too afraid to leave the car and go back to work because I thought you would follow me out and scream at me the whole way for all my coworkers to see. You took advantage of me in a place that I had but no choice to give you what you want. Do you not understand how fucking wrong that is? Why didn't you talk about this in your apology? I guess you did something. You at least apologized for years of your extremely toxic behavior.
And you see what I'm saying? He never actually. My dog goes in back inside about that. Ooh, I gotta be wrapping up soon. We still got a whole other half an hour video to go. But he never actually admits to any actual wrongdoings. Never mentions anything. Just very generic apologies. And that's not actually taking responsibility.
I see that and recognize it, but I'm still not impressed. You are not taking full responsibility as you say you are. This reads like a post-messy breakup sob story. It is plain to see you are doing damage control and are hoping you can skate by this pitiful response you call an apology for your abusive behavior. This is exactly what I was afraid of. You are not going to change. You know the truth and are choosing to hide it, hoping you can just.
And I have to say this just to make it pretty clear. It's okay that the apology is a PR move, because innately it just is. That is. Oreo. No barking. Deku. No. No barking. Sorry, I don't know what's got into him. But innately, an apology is going to be a PR move. That is the purpose. It's to make amends. It's to give yourself a good reputation with the person you're apologizing to. And that's fine. We all know that. The fact that you kept bringing it up too just shows that that's the only thing you're concerned about. The fact that you apologize to the public instead of just focusing on apologizing to the victim shows that you're concerned about the public's opinion more than you're concerned about actually coming forward with the crime and taking responsibility for the crime. Like, your own apology shows your intentions.
Barely get out of this by the skin of your teeth. Is this really all you have to say? I wish you would not just apologize to me, but to all those you've hurt. Both you and I know who they are. You said that you would do anything to make it up to me. This is it. Please change my mind. So, holy shit, man, she dropped a nuke on his ass, right? His apology was completely rendered to ashes. His entire thing, everything he wrote, was now meaningless. And this is a good point. When you go back and read this, and then
Frankly,
read
it was
what
bad
she had
prodigy,
written
no matter
here,
what.
all of a sudden you realize, wait a second. He didn't even mention half the things that occurred, and the ones he did mention, he definitely aimed to limit the details.
Yes.
So then, surprisingly,
so.
instead of ignoring her, he chose to reply. And he starts
No
it off
way.
with, even in my wanting to set things right, I failed you yet again. I'm
such a failure. Woe is me. Bro's like Jerry. Like actual like Rick and Morty Jerry.
sorry. It's like, dude, you're 30 years old. What is this? What, a soap opera? A 15-year-old would write this. Come on, man, get to the point. He continues, I will be more explicit. You're right. This is not merely about being a bad partner. Regardless of my intentions, my reasoning, my explanations, it does not change the fact that I was emotionally abusive to you and left lasting damage on you. It haunts me that I did this to you. Okay, progress. This is progress. He continues,
I mean, it's better,
I
but it's
deeply
not
apologize
really...
for not illustrating what I meant about your point regarding what I did during your birthday. Once again, I broke a boundary that you clearly set and I should have been aware of beyond a shadow of a doubt. I am mortified that I not only forgot the details of what happened, but that I ignorantly chose to not remember an important rule you had asked of me and made you incredibly uncomfortable and continue to destroy our trust. I am disgusted with myself over this particular point more than anything else.
Wait, bro, how many, bro is over here trying to, bob and weave his way with words like he's Eminem, bro. He's dodging words like he's dodging bullets, bro. Like damn, like, oh, shoot. I freaking, God damn, watch out. My intentions, kind of careful what you say. Like, bro's really over here using every word possible to avoid saying what he wants to actually say. Okay, I ignorantly chose to not remember an important rule you had asked of me. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, I didn't really care that you told me not to bang you while you were drunk. Like, what are you trying? Why are you trying to?
And I know that my apology I've presented so far has not been good enough, but if you believe nothing else, please believe me when I say, for all of the boundaries I've disrespected, ignored, and stomped on, I had no intentions of ever forcing myself onto you with or without any sort of implied permission. So again, he says, I had
no intentions of forcing myself on you with or without any sort of implied permission. I ignorantly chose to not remember an important rule you asked of me, which was, do not sleep with me when I'm drunk. How are these not contradicting statements?
no intentions of ever forcing myself onto you. So what were your intentions? You know, like, help us understand, right? It's like you do something bad,
but yet he chose
What were your intentions? What were you trying to do? Were you trying to tuck her into sleep or something? Like,
the rule.
What was your actual goal here? He doesn't specify. He then continues, I'm sorry as well for not delving further into what happened when we were in the car outside your office that day. I did not intend to leave out specific details, and I will take responsibility for that here. I didn't realize that this was even more terrifying to you than it already was.
It's weird how he never intends to do the wrong thing, but he keeps doing the wrong thing. Isn't it weird? His intentions are never wrong, but he's always doing the wrong thing. Weird.
My own selfish emotions and the temper tantrum breakdown in which I begged like a spoiled brat about...
You know what they say? The highway to hell is paved with good intentions.
Allowing me to do something you already weren't comfortable with is unforgivable. I unintentionally manipulate... Wait, what? Wait. Did he just say I unintentionally manipulated... Wait, what? Anyway, he says...
My bad, I didn't mean to manipulate you like that. That's just how I am. That's just how I be. That's just my nature, you feel me?
Unintentionally
I just be manipulating people like that by accident all the time, bro.
And your kindness and understanding because I couldn't keep my childish emotions and inconsistent moral compass I clung to under control. I know full well how wrong it was. Saying I unintentionally manipulated you is crazy. Then continues, I don't blame you for not being impressed. I knew that. Despite how much genuine thought and time I spent on trying to make this as real and sincere as possible to prove to you that I wanted to take responsibility for everything, that it probably still wouldn't be good enough and that you wouldn't forgive me. I don't hold any of this against you. At the very minimum—
Oh, what a savant! What such a kind-hearted person. He's not gonna hold anything against her, by the way. He's not gonna hold anything against the victim. Can you believe it? What a great guy! What a great guy!
I appreciate the acknowledgement that I tried, but if the end result is still
what an amazing dude! He's not gonna hold it against her.
Better. I swear to you with every fiber of my being that this was not intended as a PR stunt or damage control of any kind. I know full well and have accepted that my desire to change myself means my life as I know it is going to change. I know this will affect my relationships, other people in my life who I care about, and possibly my career and livelihood. That is not my—
only possibly his career and livelihood, okay? Possibly. Not as long as he can get away with it. As long as he has something to do with, you know, as long as he has some kind of control over it, he's going to try to avoid that. But, you know, but the rest is definitely going to change. But his career possibly only.
First time, just do the right thing. This is something he keeps referencing. He's 30 years old and he keeps saying over and over how this is the first time in his life that he's doing the right thing.
This time,
what have you been doing for the past 30 years, bro? Seriously, tell me, because I think we might be able to put you in jail.
This is just another way of basically saying, like, it's like when you're lying, but some part of you wants to tell the truth, you know? So you're just saying it's like this, like, you know, you kind of just gotta put it out there. No, this time, I swear, this time for sure, I'm gonna do good. This time for sure. I know, like, I've never been good before, but this time for sure.
This is the first time. He continues. If I have not been explicit and open enough in all of this, I will reiterate. I was an emotionally abusive asshole to you, a person who I claim to love. I committed thoughtless and ignorant actions against you through our entire relationship, and I'm sorry beyond all imagination for how I made you feel. I want to share one last thing, and I know this has a risk of coming off as selfish. Oh boy, here we go. But I want to be completely openly honest about everything. I had legitimate thoughts of wanting to kill myself last night. Dude, come on. Oh my god. Suicide is a very serious—
You should absolutely bring that up with your therapist. Not to your victims. Not something you should discuss with your victims.
Here's the thing. In his initial apology—
Because you don't know if your victims are not going through the same thing. That is not something you want to discuss with your victims. You want to discuss that with your therapist. And frankly, it's inappropriate for you to bring up with your victims, being that you are the aggressor, and likely may have even caused similar situations to them or similar emotions for them to feel towards you. So you shouldn't be bringing it up to them. You should bring it up with your therapist.
Like he highlighted how he wanted to end his life twice, and now he's highlighting how he wants to end his life again. It's like, dude, listen. At a certain point, it becomes ridiculous. It's like, what, are you gonna mention this in every post now, every time you're cornered? This really doesn't help his case. Here, let me give you an example real quick. Boogie2988.
Oh, come on! I made the same exact comparison!
Had a crazy fall from grace, right?
He's one of the same exact
YouTubers.
Comparison.
He's been in a lot of controversy, but recently he tweeted out a crypto scam, supporting it. Coffeezilla, an investigative YouTuber, reached out to him, asking him, hey man, are you aware this is a scam? Why are you doing this? And Boogie said, well, it's because I have—
And he did it anyways. He did it anyways.
Cancer. It then turned out that the cancer was fake. Surprise, surprise. He then got on a podcast with Keemstar and a couple other people, and he got cornered. What happened then, you ask? Well, check this out. Near the end of the podcast—
I honestly was discussing this particular situation with Boogie298 today, but frankly, two major reasons I didn't do that. One is I want to start focusing a lot more in the VTuber community and the VTuber world. So Mugen, and some of my favorite gacha games, you know, voice actors and stuff. Which is voice acting. It's what I care about. It's what I'm passionate about. It's voice acting. And so, frankly, second reason is just I'm just done giving Boogie energy, dude. I'm just freaking done with the guy. I really am.
He felt so
I was such a huge fan of his.
Left his chair, as you can see on the top left. That's him, and then makes his way back with a knife, threatening to hurt himself. Okay, I don't know what this knife is. Is it a butter knife? I don't know, but that's what he did, making Keemstar leave the podcast.
And I'm not saying this I'm not saying this to, how do I say this? At any point in time, I'm going to say this. At any point in time, Buggy could simply say, I messed up and I got greedy. He could sit back, stay on Locale Live, collect those paychecks, and he'll just have a great online career. Deal with the consequences, live the rest of his life. The amount of people that would moiter for the opportunity to be in that position, you have no idea. The fact that he keeps putting himself in these positions and continuously keeps trying to use his mental health as a weapon, and when that fails, attempted to use medical health, physical health, faking cancer as a shield. Like, I can't give you any more energy, my dude. I'm so done with you.
Was he actually gonna hurt himself? Absolutely not. Did he get the reaction he was looking for? Yes. The problem of always...
To be fair, though, we should always treat these, even if there is, like, it's the whole Batman situation, even if there's a 5% chance that he may do it, we should treat it as a 100% chance. And the fact that he threatened that, I do believe he like, the authorities should have been called, and there should have been, like, people there. You get me? I do believe the authority, like if I was Keemstar as his employer, I would have contacted the authorities. I would have had a wellness check done on him. I would have contacted, like, this. There are services for that will go out there, even if it's in another state. They will go out there and they will do a wellness check. They will make sure that he is on a living watch. Let's just say, for YouTube's sake, I'm saying it that way.
Saying you wanted to end your life. Look, it sucks, all right? And of course, I can empathize, but at the same time, you genuinely did not have to mention this again. But it just seems like your ex was cornering your ass over your apology, coming in with a vengeance, and you felt so cornered over the fact that it was a half apology on your end that you had to just mention this again. People are very well aware of the strength this phrase has, like, oh, I tried to end my life. Everyone all of a sudden takes a step back and is like, oh no, we don't want that to happen. Wait. Maybe we can figure it out another way. Maybe we were too harsh on him. Because look, the truth of the matter is, yes, I laughed when I read this, okay? If he were to actually end his life tomorrow, I would be seen as a horrible person. That's what they're banking on when they say things like this. The fear that if he were to actually do it, I would look terrible. So I have to believe him and lay off and not give him any consequences. But while I would not want...
I need to make sure this is very clear as well, that while it is entirely, I do believe the appropriate response or the appropriate way to handle this is to take it seriously, take it seriously, and definitely take it with all the respect that it deserves. And if anybody that knows him personally sees this or is watching, they should do a wellness check on him. However, this does not in any way, shape, or form excuse or act as a shield for his actions. In no way is it relevant to the discussion. We should be treating it with all the respect and all the seriousness that it deserves, but in no way is it relevant to the discussion, and in no way does it excuse any of his actions. Do you understand me? Like, and that's something that we all need to understand. You get me?
Want him to end his life, or anyone for that matter,
As difficult
I
as
still
it is
have to call
discuss
this
that
out
topic.
and say that this was so unnecessary to mention. Like, why are you mentioning this? If not for pity points, why is this here? You know, when I first started making this video, I wanted to stay neutral, but dude, what's the point, man? With things like this, what's the point? This is really stupid. 30-year-old man, by the way. Anyway, he continues, not because I wanted to take the easy way out or give up, but because I was so conflicted over if this was truly the right thing to do or not, and if it was actually a real sign of me wanting to change and be better. I needed to have a friend over to watch me, and I fully intend to see my therapist again soon to talk about all of my issues.
That's the first problem. What do you mean you intend to see your therapist again soon? Terrible. No. How is there not already an appointment set? No. Yeah, bro. I'll get to the gym right now. Tomorrow. Monday. I'll get to the gym on Monday, brother.
My suicidal thoughts, my treatment of women in general, my temper, and my journey I need to continue on to finally be a decent human being. Again, I know this part of what I'm saying is about me and therefore to some extent selfish, but I swear this is about honesty and transparency about my intentions to set things right. Again, this whole paragraph, okay? You could delete it. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change anything, right? If anything, actually having this in your reply makes you look worse, like you're farming for pity. And as far as I can tell, that's exactly what you're doing. He continues, I'm going to apologize to all of the people I've hurt. I'm not expecting to change your mind in the process, nor is this solely for the sake of making it up to you alone. I will do whatever it takes to fix my mistakes. Thank you again for taking the time to read. So this whole thing was a roller coaster ride, right? And it prompted many people to see this and think, oh, this guy's a manipulator with the way he talks. He references the things that his ex-girlfriend is talking about in a very vague way, almost undermining them. And to many, this didn't really feel like an apology. Of course, in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't matter. What matters is what the victim thinks. And yeah, his ex-girlfriend, Amy, did not really see this as an apology. She saw this as very weak and that he could do way better. He then went on to apologize to other people, as I mentioned. I'm gonna sum those up really quickly in an effort to not have this video end up being 6 hours long, but I still want you to have some—
Mine's running on— I'm at 2 hours already, Mujin. What are you concerned about, brother?
What of a full picture on the scale.
I'm going for 3!
Audrey is one of his exes. He says he's been a terrible partner to them.
Because I also gotta end the stream.
And he vaguely references the things he did, kind of similar to Amy, where he put a lot of stress and anxiety on her and didn't treat her with the love she treated him. Interestingly enough, this is someone who forgave him after their relationship, but then grew to distance themselves from him again because of
anything and everything to minimize it, bro. Is basically the plan. Anything and everything, because it and that's how you can tell that he's not genuine about any of it. It really is all just a PR move. Because he can't even use direct actual words. You know, besides the fact that he deleted all of this, everything that we're reading right now has been deleted. But he can't directly state any of his actual crimes. He always has to like skirt around him or figure out some kind of creative way to talk around it.
Another person here was Kaylin Denton, someone who had stated previously
I can
that
only
Chris
imagine
should
the
acknowledge his wrongdoings publicly.
That his ex
he
is
apologizes
feeling
for being extremely toxic, very unpleasant to be around, an absolute egomaniac, etc.
I don't care. I'm freaking dissociated from it. You know, I got nothing to do with it. I don't really freaking. But if you get what I'm saying, I can only imagine how pissed off she is about it.
He responded to this. You can't see this here, but you can see this on this website. I don't even know what this is, but thank you to my viewer Vampish Mick who sent it to me. Otherwise, I would have never found it. What we can find here is Kaylin responding to this whole apology and saying, the fact that you had to unblock me for me to even be able to respond to this post should be a good indicator as to how this apology landed on my ears. He then says, thank you for apologizing to me, but I'm also a person who doesn't need an apology, not from you.
Wait, so he apologized to her, but had her blocked? How's she gonna get your apology then?
I called you on all of this ages ago, and I knew I was right then. Your confirmation of that fact now does little to impress. He then goes on to say that this was a first good step, but he had many things left to do to truly—
I mean, to be fair, right? I'd probably do something stupid like that too. So I'd be an idiot too. But that just made no sense.
Try and redeem himself.
I feel like you should have like DM'd them. Like, wouldn't you try to DM them? Like, wouldn't it tell you something? I feel like if you make a public apology, wouldn't you try DMing them or something?
Why were so few people included in your apologies? Where are your responses to the droves of people who you let defend you publicly when you stayed quiet?
I'm letting, similar to this one, there are certain situations happening right now. For example, the Mr. Beast situation that I do want to discuss on a Monday Monkey morning. But I kind of want to let them play out a little bit and just see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the fact that Logan Paul is suing CoffeeZilla is a big L for Logan Paul, in more ways than you might think. Because if Logan Paul is suing CoffeeZilla, that opens CoffeeZilla up, or rather, I should say, that opens Logan Paul up for discovery during the court proceedings, which means Logan Paul. CoffeeZilla could potentially get his hands on a lot more information than previously able to before the fact, you get me? So, depending on how that plays out, it could be way, way worse for Logan Paul. It'll be interesting. I'll have to check that one out.
Against you.
I'm definitely not going to have enough time for it today.
People called him out in the past, he stayed silent and let his fans bombard them online. And
maybe
then
even
says,
check.
We maybe
even able to check it out on Thursday after the fallout.
I think you're not sorry, but you're finally scared. Yeah. I think that this is all done to keep your job.
And if we watch it before the fallout, we'll even talk about it during the podcast on Thursday.
So overall, while he was thinking he was doing the right thing, apologizing, they ended up doing way more harm to him.
I gotta link up that video so we can discuss that in the podcast.
He apologizes to a friend, filthy animal, who he hasn't talked to for over 10 years. For being insensitive, selfish, manipulating, and a bunch of other things, right? He then goes on to do the same thing with John Markle, Anthony Legato, and Tara Welker. Tara Welker in particular, he had a very lengthy history with. This honestly can be a separate fucking video by itself, but just know, even though he wrote this entire thing and then replied to her reply on Twitter, she still does not forgive him one bit, and she hates his guts, all right? This whole thing was very significant. It was crazy, right?
It's interesting that every single person that he's been involved with tends to come down to the same exact conclusion, isn't it?
This dude had pretty much admitted many things that were a colossal nuclear bomb, right? The fact that he's 30 years old, saying that this is the first time he's doing the right thing in his life, the fact that he's done this for over a decade to colleagues, friends, ex-partners. You didn't need any proof. He was admitting it himself. No one hacked his computer. No one put him at gunpoint. He was writing all these things. And honestly, they made him look way worse than the accusations. Who the hell says this is the first time I'm doing the right thing in my life when you're 30 years fucking old? It's just crazy. But regardless,
he really tried to write it like it's some kind of like epic,
according to himself and some of his co-workers in the industry.
Very grandiose
language.
language.
More than a year later, on November 19th, 2020, he made this post saying,
words,
just want to share my final
much.
piece and then move forward. Over the last year or so, I have put my full focus into rehabilitating myself into a better person, and more recently to heal the pain of the people I had hurt. He said that he participated in various emotional cognitive therapy programs, anger management, psychiatry, self-help books, and even medication, and he's confident that he is not the same person that he was before. That he can't undo his past mistakes, and that it's because of this newfound empathy that he has been able to better identify, acknowledge, and rectify these mistakes. That he wants to take full responsibility to heal the pain of the people he had hurt and to validate their feelings, to listen, and to apologize. He then says that he recognizes that he contributed to the scale of the online scandal by publishing details of his personal matters. Oh yeah, he did. That he communicated reactively and emotionally and was at times even hyperbolic with his words. As a result, he says that he allowed the internet to distort the truth, which not only resulted in personal suffering, but created suffering for others related to the situation by extension. So here he feels the need to rectify this point, to really make it clear, I have never raped anyone, I have never beaten anyone, I have never stolen money or jobs from someone else. For all of the mistakes I've made, I am not a criminal, period. He ends it by saying, I'm still working hard to improve. I am not who I was a year ago. I am capable of change. I am not beyond redemption. I am worthy of living. I am not going to give up. I am going to keep going. So some other voice actors that even I recognize came out in support of him, right? Saying things like, I've seen how much you've changed and I'm so proud of the work you've put in. You know, Aiden Rudd, for example, is someone who voices Sam in Honkai Star Rail. Some of his fans are also very proud of him. And some other people couldn't believe a single word he said. They still were against him, no matter what. You also had Zeno Robinson, who had voiced in some big productions as well.
Yeah, no, like, again, he's getting hung up on the fact that he hasn't, quote unquote, been arrested or for committing a crime. When it's like, that's not why people are pissed. That's not why I personally think you're a terrible person. I'm genuinely just sympathetic towards your ex, who genuinely on her birthday had to worry about the fact that while she gets drunk, because she freaking wants to party on her birthday, she has to be concerned about getting R-worded by her boyfriend. Even after she has explicitly told him that she does not consent to being touched while intoxicated. That right there, the sympathy I have for her being in that situation, as someone who can't even begin to imagine what it must feel like to be in that situation. As a man, I can't imagine being put into that position and feeling like a sense of unease. Like, man, I can't even enjoy. Like, can you imagine how sour the beer must taste? Unless you like a sour, unless you want a sour beer. But you get what I'm saying? You know how, in Spanish we say se me amarga. Se me amarga. La comida en la boca. The food or the drink, la bebida. Like, it sours in my mouth because I can't drink it or eat it comfortably. I can't enjoy my birthday comfortably because I have this, like, nagging, like, thing in the back of my brain. It's like, well, if I get too freaking drunk, the guy who I'm supposed to have full confidence in and be comfortable with, my boyfriend, can freaking R-word me while I'm intoxicated. Like, that sounds like torture. It sounds like no kind of way to live. That's why people are pissed off at you, brother. It has nothing to do with you getting, like, it's not like because the police hasn't showed up to write you a ticket. Oh, well, there you go. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Incredibly hard to make amends, heal, and improve. I've watched him try to answer every single person he's hurt and really, really try to do better. He's definitely made huge mistakes, but maybe this can help clarify some things and help him start over. And I should mention...
And I feel like I don't know to what degree they supported him, but I only hope that they also did their own research. Like, that's one of those things that no matter what, you should never, ever, ever, ever make a statement defending or attacking anyone until you got all the facts. Your only response should be, I don't know the whole situation. I'm gonna look into it myself and I'll get back to you. I don't know. Hey, I work for MiHoYo. I don't work for freaking homeboy Chris. That's it. He's my coworker. I don't know what's happening in his life or what he's doing. I just work with the guy. Let me look into it, and if I have something to say, I'll say it. Otherwise, don't. It's got nothing to do with me and my line of work. I show up and I read the script. Like, there is no. You get me? Even if I know you like that, I'm still. I'm sorry. Even if I know you like you my boy, like, I'm just gonna tell you straight up. Like, hey, bro. Like, there's business and then there's friendship. Like, I'm gonna look into it. And depending on what happens, it could end both relationships. But, like, I'm not gonna be putting out no statements until I know all the facts. Like, just don't say nothing. You get what I'm saying? If Sunday's VA would have just, like, shut up, waited until he got all the facts, and then made a statement after that, I'm sure it would have gone better. But maybe you just don't make a statement at all. Maybe you just mind your damn business. And just do a voice for a video game. We're here for waifus on Honkai Star Rail. We're not here for this. You get what I'm saying? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Holiday's voice actor's opinion on this.
AKA Ayoo. The tweet isn't there anymore, though. It was deleted. He explains that in his VOD, which we'll get to later. In any case, after this post, this is
between Chris and the victims.
Slowly started making his comeback to the voice acting industry. While the online community wasn't fully convinced, it seemed that his coworkers.
But at the same time, I do feel it is important to speak up on it, So maybe I'm a hypocrite in that case.
And employers were. Now, is that because he told them the whole truth, or is that because he left some things out?
I don't know.
I don't know. But he was making his comeback regardless. Looking at his IMDb, ever since 2019, he's had minor roles.
He was in Dr. Stone?
He was an NPC in Genshin Impact in 2020, was in a few roles in 2021, but then truly made his comeback in 2022, right? So a couple of years ago.
Oh, he was in River
a few
City Girls.
animes, and then in 2023 was also in quite a few animes up until his big break, which was
even Black
Honkai
Clover.
Star Rail. Guys, you have to understand. The reason why this is a very big
That's
deal.
the big break. Oh, damn. Throwing shade at Black Clover. Okay, damn. All right, like that?
Is because many voice
Like
actors
that,
have actually made their entire careers over being in
I
a
know
voice
Black
game,
Clover's
whether it be
mid, but
Genshin
like
Impact,
it's
Honkai
still
Star Rail,
good.
or now Zenless Zone Zero. These games
Kinda.
are a very big deal.
I kind of fell
They
off
have
after
taken
after
voice
the
actors from
after
being
the,
regular
the,
voice
the,
actors to public
the court
personalities,
hearing, the
people who
judgment,
can
or whatever.
stream, make
But they were
YouTube
like, "Ooh, he's a
videos,
devil."
people with a following, celebrities. This is a very, very big deal.
To be fair though, for me personally, right now, bro, if I had any role, you don't understand, any role in Honkai Star Rail, in Zenless Zone, in Wuthering Waves, in Nikke, in any of the, if I had any kind of role in any of them, even as a side character, I would lose my mind.
So after all these years in 2024, this signified his full...
Yeah, I don't understand. Being in an anime and being in a video game are like my top bucket list, like my wish list, bro.
...comeback into the voice acting industry. But of course,
but I feel like a lot of voice acting in movies and stuff is going to be getting replaced by AI. So that's why, like, I think the only way for voice acting to have a future in the industry is gonna be through like these sort of like celebrity voice actors type of situations, collaboration, so to speak. You get me?
As soon as that announcement was made, some people were starting to kind of question, wait a second, is that the same Chris Niosi I know? So news articles were made about
You knew him like that?
referencing the things that we just saw, talking about them, but, you know, with less detail. That's where I come in to give you the full story, baby. Hell yeah. This is where things get very nasty and very tricky. A day after
Sorry, they're getting impatient,
Lowe's was announced for Honkai Star Rail, Ayoo tweets out, just got back on Twitter, okay, serious talk tomorrow on stream, love you guys. So around 14 minutes in
I keep forgetting he's Ayoo, by the way. I fully... Who is the, Amelie. I'm an idiot. There you go. Amelie. I watch Amelie here and there. I'll get like clips and stuff for Amelie, the Scuff Queen, and I'll see him playing, like collaborating with her every once in a while.
Titled "The World Needs Tech Support."
I totally forgot he was Ayoo again.
He starts talking about
my brain.
it, right? This is what he says.
Anyway, 4 years ago, I commented on a situation I didn't know about. Like some of you guys, I'd heard about some of the accusations about Chris in 2019.
And this is Sunday's VA, right? Specifically? Yo, for real though. COVID, everything, no, but honestly, wait, bro, you didn't know, Cat Williams was talking about the VTuber community, bro. He had all the information. No, honestly though, like I said, just don't say nothing until you have all the facts, bro. I guess you honestly don't even need to say anything. But like, frick, it just sucks. You know. I don't know what I would do.
They were true, and I knew he promised he'd do therapy, and I believe that. I believed him, and when he said to me he had apologized to the people who he wronged and had been forgiven. And I want to make this clear. The only people who can forgive or not forgive Chris are his victims. I can't forgive him for them.
True.
That's not how that works. Okay? But when I heard they had, and that they supported his growth, I thought, oh, good. That's what I wanted my tweet to be. My encouragement to keep doing the work and trying to grow, if that's what had brought his victims some peace.
Yeah, okay.
Then great.
He fully did not have all the information. Very reasonable. And it seems like he's very much clearing the air here. Got it.
I posted it. And then I didn't keep a close eye on the situation at all.
I can't really fault him. At the same time, learn this lesson, I'm sure. Don't go throwing out like blanket statements. good intentions as they may be, it just you gotta get all the facts straight before you say anything. That's why I never tweet nothing. I'd rather just make a full-blown reaction video like this on a topic or on a discussion.
So many of you guys tagged me, and that's on me. I didn't know he hadn't spoken to many of the victims. I didn't know he hadn't been forgiven. I genuinely didn't know about half the things he'd been accused of, and again, that's on me for not doing my part and researching more, which is a pattern of mine, unfortunately.
You are right. You're not wrong.
Ignorance is bliss, right? And look, I know we talk about how this is a space to escape from the real world and just have a good time. But at times we gotta acknowledge.
And I gotta make one thing clear though. It's not like he doesn't owe anybody a statement. He doesn't owe anybody really an apology. It's just that if you're gonna make a statement, especially on such a on such an important topic, when you're representing a particular company like MiHoYo or Honkai and stuff like that, you gotta be very careful what statements you're putting out there. You gotta be very careful, and you really gotta put like a good amount of thought into what you're putting out there. Don't just go willy-nilly putting out statements like that, you know?
Acknowledge the real world.
So that was what he had to say, right? He had come out in support of him seeking therapy and everything, especially like after his post in 2020. He had even made a tweet about it, but here's what he had to say about that.
You know? So, I deleted my tweet so it can't be used in any way. I'll be handling anything else going forward privately, but I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for breaking your trust.
Right, so I don't have to, thankfully, I don't have to do the web archive thing where I try to seek out one tweet he made in 2020. Look, he admitted it. He said he had made a tweet in support of him, and he had deleted it so that no one uses it.
Wow, isn't it crazy how quickly and how easily you can make a genuine apology? Took him all of how many seconds? Wild, isn't it? When you don't gotta make some freaking mental linguistic gymnastics to freaking skirt around the fact that you did something bad. You could just, nobody needs to like go back and look for your old Tumblr posts and pages. You could just apologize and just be done with it. Yeah, no, I messed up. I did this. That was stupid of me. Yeah, I'm sorry for doing that. That was wrong of me. That easy. I fully respect Ayoo for this. Fully respect Ayoo for this. Fully respect Ayoo for this.
I guess in a video like this. But again, as he mentioned, he didn't know about half the things that Chris had done. And this goes to show that maybe he had not told the full truth to some of his coworkers that do openly support him. In any case, he apologizes profusely to his community.
He corrected his mistake,
around the
and it was an
20-minute
honest
mark,
mistake,
ends up
in my
breaking
opinion.
down crying. Okay? I don't think it'll really help in any way to include this in my video. I'd rather not, but you can easily tell that this really got to him. And this sucks because Alejandro's position in general is something he didn't really ask for. He has been given the title of the voice actor spokesperson.
And I'm sure, and not that we should be focusing more on Ayoo's feelings here than the victims, right? Of course, but it's gotta suck to be in the position of Ayoo as well, because you have to imagine if there's like people in his audience or even the victims themselves who saw Ayoo coming out to support this aggressor. The culprit, so to speak, the person who was like abusing them emotionally. You get me? It's like, it's gotta feel just so garbage. So I can feel him, like, I can feel his, like, I understand he must feel like so bad. What if there's people in his audience that have been in a similar situation and they're just like, I can't believe my favorite VTuber would agree with Chris on this one. You get me? Like, oh, that's gotta suck. It's got to feel like you've betrayed your own audience like that, you know?
Involuntarily, just because he holds so much influence, right? 300,000 followers on Twitch, 200,000 followers on Twitter. Whenever a big problem happens, as I mentioned, people go to him first to ask him, right? When Elliot Gindi, the insane creep who was a Genshin voice actor, got outed and fired immediately, everyone went to Alejandro to ask him what he thinks. Whenever a controversy happens, everyone goes to him. This is no different. So that definitely gets to him sometimes. But he had told us...
Which, again, I feel like at this point, it's become the normal or the usual. And it's like, Ayoo does not owe anybody a statement. Ayoo he's just an employee at Hoyoverse. He gets paid to go and write and say the lines. If I was Ayoo, honestly, I would just tell people, hey, you know what? I'm gonna refrain from making any statements. Like, cause you get what I'm saying? This is not Ayoo's business. It's not his problem. He didn't freaking tell the guy to go start like doing stuff. How is this Ayoo's fault? You get me? It's got nothing to do with him. He just happens to be another public figure that works in the same like that. There's a voice for the thing. It's not Ayoo. Ayoo is not in charge of these people. He's not Ayoo's responsibility. Leave Ayoo alone. That sucks. That freaking sucks.
His stance. He didn't know the whole truth, and he does not support anything Chris Niosi stands.
Now people are gonna keep coming to him like, what do you have to say about it? Like, bro,
would
no opinion. I'm just trying to play video games.
Against Chris, I was
Good
proven
Lord.
very wrong by this Reddit post that was made by Sunday's voice actor, a major character in Honkai Star Rail. This Reddit post was made on r/Honkai Star Rail and was titled English Voice Actor for Sunday Responds to Chris Niosi Controversy. Now, of course, this could be someone impersonating him, right? Because he is someone who doesn't really frequent the internet so much, but I verified the user and he has done a verified AMA on r/anime dubs, right? This is actually his real account. Here's what he had to say. Hi, my name is MonkeyVtuber. I'm the English voice actor for Sunday.
Hold on. That was Sunday's voice actor. That was Ayoo. Is Ayoo okay with his face being out there? Do we want to censor that?
Sunday in HSR.
I can censor that myself.
Post here regarding the Chris Niosi situation.
Is Ayoo okay with his public image being out? I'm sure people can look it up. It's public information, but
and more. Those accusations were responded
sure
by Chris,
his particular...
who owned up to and apologized for the things he actually did, while
Oh,
also
you mixed it up. Got it. He's not. Ayoo is not Sunday's VA. Who does Ayoo voice?
correcting the record for what he did not do. No criminal charges have ever been brought against him, and over the past 5 years, Chris has struggled to improve himself and right those wrongs, while slowly trying to regain his ability to work again.
I was gonna say, yeah, because if that was Ayoo, I don't want to put his face out there. Like, I'm not trying to, like, put his face out there like that. That's rude.
Chris has earned the support of many of his colleagues, both privately and publicly. He has been hired by multiple studios for work in between then and now, even after facing consequences, firings, and blacklists for what he did. He has been hired by multiple studios for work in between then and now, even after facing consequences, firings, and blacklists for what he did.
It's pretty public, but I'm not gonna...
why? Many of us had front row seats to everything.
Okay, this guy, Griffin, is the one who kept defending him. Got it, okay. Okay, I don't know if he's okay with his name being out there. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know how much Ayoo makes public, but I see what his name is. I see what roles he's in. I'm not sure who he plays in Honkai. Let me see specifically. Or is he in Genshin? He might be in Genshin.
Do I voice anyone in Honkai?
I'll look it up later. But point being is it's okay. I know who's who now. He's not the Sunday voice actor.
That happened, and know that Chris has apologized, changed, and grown. We are happy he is working again and gets to pursue a living for himself in an industry that he loves dearly. If the people hurt by Chris believe he is undeserving of forgiveness or that he hasn't changed at all, then that's on them. Some of those people forgave him, some didn't. They have every right to feel however they feel, but that doesn't make it true, and it certainly doesn't give them the right to dictate whether or not Chris ever gets to work again. If your view is that no amount of change or apology is enough to forgive someone who's wronged you, and that you have the power to decide whether or not the individual gets to earn a living or not, then you're an unreasonable person. Those of us who have watched his journey from cancellation to growth and redemption We believe in him. We've seen him changed. We've watched him take all of the right steps, not knowing if it would make a difference or get him his career back, but because it was the right thing to do. During that time, he's been hired back for roles at multiple studios, while other voice actors who faced cancellation have not. Why? Because his situation is different from theirs and warranted welcoming him back. My hope in voicing support for Chris is to broaden the discussion and provide another side to the story. Right now, Twitter/X is drowning in negativity, with death threats and calls for his firing running rampant. This type of toxic discourse is why I left the platform back in 2023 and no longer post there. I keep an account to respond to casting calls and auditions for my job, but I refuse to add fuel to the heaping trash fire that it is. I know posting this puts me at risk for the same sort of vitriol that Chris is facing right now. I don't care. I would rather stand up for my colleague than remain silent. I don't know if there's much more for me to say beyond this. I'm sorry if I do not respond to your comments. I have tried to be as thorough as possible with this post. Judge its validity for yourself. Thank you for being so supportive as a fan base up until now.
Oh, yeah, thank you. No monkeys, are you?
Now, I'm sorry if this changes your view of me, but I felt in my heart of hearts that this was the right thing to do. I hope you understand.
Doggo's gonna doggo.
When this was posted, guys, this blew the hell up. Okay.
So frankly, here's how this. Here's basically how this like works. Basically, okay. The victims don't get to decide whether Chris gets to work anymore, right? Okay. But they do decide whether his apologies were genuine or not. They do get to decide whether they want to accept the apologies or not. Now, Hoyoverse, on the other hand, they get to decide whether Chris gets to work anymore. And if the public as a whole agrees with the victims that the apology was, frankly, ungenuine or ingenuous, non-genuine, not genuine, then Hoyoverse has every right to say this is too much like mess, and we want nothing to do with it. You get me? If I personally was in Chris's situation, I would be wanting to do everything in my power to make amends with all the people I've wronged in a genuine way so that they will not cause any problems for me with MiHoYo. You get how that works? That's called common sense. That's called using logic to get what you want by repairing the damage that you did with past relationships. You feel me? But no, instead, you try everything you can, like a disgenuous, like the non-genuine, disgenuous apology, just to sort of like cover everything up, or like, I don't know, freaking pretend like you actually make amends. And from the sound of it, it sounds like potentially you might even be telling other people that some people have forgiven you, but maybe not. Ayoo seems to have been confused, thinking that people had already apologized to you. So, like, what's happening there? Okay, and so did this guy.
I can't state to you how big this blew up, okay? This was made 21 hours ago at the time of me recording this, okay? He has since edited this. We will get to this, but before he edited this, the comments were not what he was expecting. But most of them stated that they didn't even know who the voice actor was. How this was doing the opposite of what the poster had intended. This was actually bringing their attention to an issue that they didn't even know was an issue. Hoyo, after the Natland controversy, I got one more in me. I wanted to make a video about the Natland controversy, but, this was definitely higher on the priority list, I think. Hi, Mr. Griffin. I'd like to just say that in most industries, it's considered wildly unprofessional to use a company platform as your personal soapbox, aka saying, hey guys, this is Sunday's voice actor speaking. If your secret purpose was to raise awareness and get people to stare shit against Chris, then good job, because it was definitely...
Again, similar to Ayoo, you don't owe anybody a statement. You could just, like, stay away from it. But not only did you decide to make a statement, you decided to go double down on, like, defending the dude.
Definitely not something I knew about until this post. And then you look at this. Mugen be like, I died, bro. I died when I saw this.
At least Ayoo
hey, shout out Fruit
informed
Punch Samurai.
himself.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
and then
hey,
apologized for his
Another
response.
3-hour video for Mugen.
You get me?
Can't wait to be
Bro,
honest. I love
doubling down over here.
dude, I love the HSR community. What the f? You guys are
Another
amazing.
3-hour video from Mugen.
Back to being serious, because this is a serious topic. As you can
This
see,
is.
the comments range from I had no clue what the hell was happening, but now I'm aware, thank you, I guess, to what the hell did you just say? Now, after this whole controversy was unfolding, obviously, this post has, let's check it out. Let's go to old.reddit to see the upvote percentage of this post. And here you go, 54% upvoted at 1,300 upvotes, right? This is definitely a controversial post. Hey, little update one day before I upload the video. It's currently sitting at 50% upvoted and down to 644 points. People have been downvoting this post like crazy, especially with how much attention it's been garnering. Thought you'd want to know about that. Anyway, back to the original video. He ended up making an edit. And here we go.
An edit?
Hey guys, this is the last thing I'll say in regards to this post. Things have clearly gotten heated and I want to clarify some things before moving on. First, I am not blaming the victims for anything. All I said is that it's on them whether or not to forgive Chris or believe he's changed for the better. However, I don't believe they get to decide whether he works again or not. Second, I am not trying to apologize on Chris's behalf. Chris owned up to what he did 5 years ago in a public post. He also denied the things he did not do. I saw the firestorm brewing on Twitter and I couldn't stand by and watch him get piled on with no one defending him. I thought that by posting here in long form, it would open the door to more nuanced and detailed discussion. I was wrong. At the very least, I need to apologize for stirring things further with what I said. However, I don't think staying silent would have been right either. I completely
What do you mean? You don't think staying silent would have been right either? Like, he's acting as if he had... He's acting as if he absolutely had to freaking, like, get involved. And, like, Jesus block this dude from any sins and pain of the world. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
agree that this should have nothing to do with me or you. This should be between Chris and his exes/former friends. But all of this was made public 5 years ago by—
Yeah, you're like dying on a hill. Like, so you realize you're dying on a hill that does not need defending, right?
By the people involved. It affects the fans, the people who work with him, all of us. We should be able to discuss these things civilly, openly, and honestly. But the more time I spend on the internet, the more I realize that isn't possible here. This isn't the town square or a place to discuss things freely or openly. These sites only serve to ratchet up our emotions, whatever they happen to be, and clearly this is an emotionally charged situation. The truth is, none of us know each other. We all judge each other blindly, yet regard one another with the familiarity of a neighbor, friend, or enemy. And then ends it by saying, I wasn't trying to change anyone's opinion.
I love how he can't really come up with a good defense for why he made the stupid statements he made. So he's just turning this into like a philosophical debate about the purpose that the internet serves in our society. Like, what?
Though it seems I've changed plenty of your opinions of me, if you truly believe I'm acting inappropriately or unprofessionally, I don't know how to refute or agree with you. You can't see my intent.
It's just like such a weird molehill to die on. Like, you do you, bro. I guess.
The tone of my voice, you can only trust my word. Same goes from me to you. That probably makes it difficult or impossible to trust me or anything we see on the internet. I don't know. I have no idea how to navigate any of this. I did what I felt was right. That doesn't make it so, but it's the best any of us can do.
No, honestly, the best anybody could do is the same thing that Hoyoverse did, which is basically become aware. Once you become aware, get knowledgeable about the situation, find out what's the facts, as many facts as you can, and if it's a bad situation, disassociate. Just disassociate. What's that? He's a douche? Everyone hates him? Get rid of him. Replace him. Next person. I'll find somebody who didn't beat the crud out of the... Sorry, not that he didn't beat anybody, but you get what I'm saying. I'll find somebody who wasn't a douchebag to their girlfriend. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's not... It's not... This got nothing to do with Hoyoverse. It's got nothing to do with Ayoo. It's got nothing to do with nobody except for Chris and his victims. You get me? And everybody has the right to just be like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. No, I'm not associated with you. I'm not associating with you. You just, what you did was messed up. I don't gotta attack you. I don't gotta defend you. I just don't gotta deal with it. I don't gotta deal with you. Yeah, no, I did, like, it's just such an unnecessary, like, it's an unnecessary thing to defend. I don't know. It's just weird.
So look, one thing is obvious. Griffin was way outside of his element here, right? PR is a very...
Like, the best thing you could say, like, in this particular case, if, like, you or Sayu or whatever, it's exactly, well, basically, yeah, it's doing exactly what Sayu did. That's the best case scenario. Even if you mess up, like, and accidentally defended the guy, you can just come out and say, hey, I wasn't fully aware of the full situation, and I'll do better. I'll do better in the future. That's it.
Complicated thing. Public image and public relations, everything about this is an extremely tough nut to crack. And unless you are chronically online or have been doing it for a long time, it's very hard to make a post like this
for wanting
that
to just
actually have
wipe their hands clean of it.
The results you're expecting.
Because there's other voice actors that
blindsided here and ended up making the situation
haven't done this. They haven't emotionally abused their girlfriends, and they're not going to bring up any issues for Hoyoverse.
It's insane. You have 786...
You think Hoyoverse is concerned about your situation, sir? They got the next waifu coming out in a month. They don't got time to deal with you. We got 14 waifus lined up for the year. And we gotta get the ball rolling.
Subreddit, and many of them who are online have been alerted to this. A lot of them had no clue about it beforehand. And look, what Griffin was trying to do is stand up for a friend. Man, that's very admirable, but the problem is, his wording was so terrible, it was so dog shit, that he ended up making himself seem like he's the same apple as Chris. They're both from the same tree. This is overall a really screwed up situation. Griffin has already suffered his first...
There was no positive outcome, I feel like, to him, like, making that edit. It's a lose-lose situation. It's already a bad take, and you just sort of, like, added a cherry on top.
Consequence for coming out in
Unless you
support
completely
of Chris,
walk it back, there was no winning there.
He was on. This happened in less than 24 hours of him making the Reddit post. Things were starting to get real. Alice Homura, who voices
and yeah, you see, all these other people are gonna disassociate. And it's fully within their right to do so. Cause you dug this hole, and you put yourself in it. Why are you dying on this molehill? It's got nothing to do with you. Let Chris handle this. That's Chris's problem.
The character Robin, who ironically is Sunday's sister in-game, made a subtweet on the situation saying, "To say I'm thoroughly disgusted is an understatement." Following it up with her announcing that she's taking a break from...
Like, you could have just stayed away from it, like Alice. So I assure you, Alice didn't freaking go out making crazy statements about this. But you could have just stayed away from it. But no, instead, you got in there and started defending the wrong person. And then started doubling down. Come on.
Twitter. Kyle McCarley, a successful voice actor in the English dubbing industry, tweeted this in reply to Honkai Star Rail's tweet announcing Mose as a character. He said, "Chris Niosi is not a monster, he was a bad boyfriend, and he martyred himself in the court of public opinion for it." And then when you click on it, here's what you see. This post is from an account that no longer exists. That's right. He deleted his Twitter account shortly after.
Yeah, because he knows that was a stupid statement.
Did not help Chris. Just like Griffin's post on Reddit, this didn't help Chris, even if you wanted to defend him because you truly felt like that.
That was so... What a way to minimize. What a way to minimize that. What a way to minimize the struggle of that person. You don't gotta make any of these statements, brother. Nobody took, like Hoyoverse did not show up like, "Hey, here's your phone. You better tweet to defend this person." Nobody did. Nobody.
That was the right
Why?
thing to do. This action right here, deleting your account.
You got the job. You're voice acting in Honkai Star Rail. Just shut up.
As soon as you got backlash in your replies,
just be like Homer Simpson. Something happens, fade into the bushes.
It's specified in his Discord.
Got nothing to do with me. I didn't touch nobody. I didn't talk to nobody. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
That's has been getting out of hand, and that he didn't want this to happen to someone he's seen change so much over the years. But as I said, this really didn't help the situation, and not many people even got the chance to see what he said in Discord, so does it really matter?
Wow.
Look, objectively speaking, this isn't just another case of someone being cancelled out of the blue. This isn't like South Korean cancel culture, right? Where someone's being canceled, people want to end their careers because they started dating someone, okay? Chris, over the years, had many people, co-workers, colleagues, friends, whatever, come out to say how toxic, how abusive, how unpleasant of a person he is. He chose to ignore all of them. And as far as we know, it didn't affect his career. Because guess what? It was he said, she said. There was no proof. And I think it's safe to say that in 2019, when Amy, his ex-girlfriend, wrote up the post calling him an abusive boyfriend, the same thing would have happened if he didn't respond, but he chose to respond. And in his response, he ended up making himself look a million times.
Yeah, it feels to me, I personally feel like any reasonable person that reads all of this would come to the same conclusion. You get me? That Chris, frankly, is just not a great person. And that what he did was pretty bad. Now, we can sit here and argue whether he's genuine about trying to become a better person. You can have that opinion all you want. People are mad at these other voice actors, though, because they either try to minimize the victim's, like, feelings, the victim's, like, experience, or they try to, like, minimize the consequences of the abuse, or try to minimize what actually happened. And that's why people are mad. Like, because you didn't educate yourself at all before you came out and started making these statements. Like, it's not difficult to look into it a little bit before you make a statement, if you're going to make a statement, or just don't make a statement at all. It's that simple.
Worse. This is simply about someone who was in a position of power and chose to use that power to commit malicious deeds. Does that mean
any logical person would read this and come to the conclusion that this is a self-report, and that he's trying to, like, minimize it himself? It's pretty obvious.
Mean that he should never hold another job in his life? No. But at the same time, would it be too crazy to assume that some people would just not want to have someone like that in their favorite game? I don't think so. And this leads me to Hoyoverse. With their infinite budget and the infinite talent pool available to them for voice actors, it just really, really perplexes me as to why they would go with Chris out of all people. I do need to specify here, though, this is not Hoyoverse's fault. This is the agency they hired.
Yeah,
this is the studio or whatever that they chose to hire to pick out their talent. At a certain point,
and again, there is I may be. Some people are gonna get mad at me, but at the end of the day, these are big companies looking to hire voice actors. They're trying to get stuff. They're not necessarily going the distance, the extra mile, to check everyone's personal life and everyone's ex-beef. There's a reason why Chris deleted that Tumblr post. It's to keep it out of the front page. As long as it's not on the first page of Google posts. Do you really think Chris did not, like, delete that Tumblr? Why do you think he deleted that Tumblr post? Because he wanted to keep it off. Because he knows that most people aren't gonna go that extra mile. You get what I'm saying? So I gotta say, there's a reasonable amount of, like, a reasonable amount of leeway I'll give the company. I will give them credit that upon finding out or becoming aware of the situation, they took necessary action. It would be a way different situation. And you know that there's some situations like this out there, if they continued to support the person and continue to allow them to work and ignored everything, just fully ignored the fact that there's the accusations. You get me? And you know that there's been cases like that where companies will fully ignore the accusations.
There was a controversy in which voice actors weren't being paid for their work in Hoyoverse games. Hoyoverse wasn't even aware of this. This was fully on the studio. But
absolutely. He's very concerned about his public image. It's very obvious.
Regardless, the responsibility does fall upon them because That's who they're hiring, right?
And it's like if you genuinely wanted to change and you genuinely wanted to continue to be a voice actor, you would think you would try to make genuine amends with the people you wrong so that they don't cause problems for you. But no, instead you try to cover it up.
Whenever you hire someone like that, you are tainting the reputation of anyone else who has voice for your game. And there's many very talented and cool people who voice for characters here. Why would you take this risk? Why would you do that to yourself? So they have to be very careful with this. Look, I find it admirable that even though it was a very big risk, you had friends of Chris who defended him throughout this whole thing. Sure. But my question is, were they doing it because they truly saw change over the years and truly recognized that this is a different person, or were they misled like Ayoo, who didn't even know half the stuff that Chris had done? I don't know. But I'm not about to send any hate brigades originating from this video, right? So we're not gonna sit here and theorycraft about that. It is completely up to you, the viewer watching right now.
I'll theorycraft. I don't care. I'll do it. I think that it's a healthy amount of both. I think it's a healthy amount of them being like sort of like similar to Ayoo, them being misled, potentially believing a little bit of the copium, their own copium, potentially believing maybe what Chris might have said to them in private. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's a little bit of a healthy mix of all of it, not just one. A healthy mix of like all of a lot of different things. They might be huffing the copium. They might be going on Twitter and seeing Chris defenders huffing the copium too, and they might be in an echo chamber. They might have spoken to Chris, and Chris might have told him that I got a lot of them. Like with Ayoo, like we know for a fact, Ayoo said that he thought that some people had forgiven him. Maybe Chris is telling him some people are forgiving them. You get me? So it's a healthy mix of all of it. The difference is that Ayoo, when presented with facts, said, "Oh, I messed up. I made the wrong decision. I did not inform myself. I'm now going to make a public statement. I'm going to take responsibility for what I did. I'm going to apologize for it, and I'm going to move on and do better." And he is. Bam. Bing, bang, boom. Done. Ayoo, you're 100%. As far as I'm concerned, me personally, Monkey, everything's cool. As far as I'm concerned, Ayoo's cool. It's cool by my book. It shows that he has a lot of dignity, a lot of integrity, you know. And he should be commended for that. On the other hand, some people double down. You know, they kind of went the opposite direction. Instead of saying I messed up, they sort of said, "No, screw you. You're the one that's wrong." You know,
make up your opinion on that. I think you can still make up your opinion, even though I wasn't fully neutral halfway through the video. But can you blame me, dude? Come on.
Like, it's a gotcha game. You feel me? It's a gotcha game. At the end of the day, the court of public opinion is the most important thing, because the public is the one with the wallets.
As always, I just hope that in the process, no one gets
hurt.
I'm
not no
I think we have enough victims
monkey.
In this situation. What a mess this is,
dude.
Can we just go 1 week without something like this happening, please? Thank you so much for watching.
Shit. Go 1 week. You know damn well. You saw those comments. Everyone knows damn well. As soon as something happens, Mook gets in the corner. A little. Ooh, I'm going. You know, like that Ice Cube meme. Ooh, I'm going to eat good today. Today's gonna be a good one. You know what I'm saying? So this drama like this comes up. Ooh, you know we want the content, Mugen. You know we want the content, Mugen. Keep making it, and I'll keep reacting to it. Let's go. Farm more drama. But yeah.
If you watch the whole thing, as always, you're insane, and I love you, and I'll see you the next time I upload, whenever that is. Yeah. Mwah.
Lived for 30 years, but only now realized that drunk intercourse requires consent. My bad. I mean, what else can you say, bro? Is there a better freaking, like, way to tie a bow on it? There's nothing else to really discuss. We've said everything we had to say, of course, but in general, oh yeah, he's going into hiding again. And the thing is, what I don't like is that in a lot of these cases, they'll try to like hide and resurface again, like EDP 445. I have once again arisen, resurrected. Look at what didn't EDP445 just come out with a freaking video talking smack about Chris Tyson? Like talk about what? Bro's like, we gotta protect our children from this man. I'm like, oh, do we now? Cupcake man. Oh my goodness, and bro was really calling out Tyson, like we gotta protect our children from this man. Good lord, oh my goodness, like, did you really think people forgot? Like, how, like what, like, do you in what world do you live that you think people are just gonna forget? So I guarantee you, Chris Boffer here, Kurt Boffer, he gonna be back. In some way, in another video game, somewhere. Now, whether he has a right to do that is between him and the company that wants to hire him. It's got nothing to do with me. But, if I had to give final thoughts on this entire situation, because I gotta end the stream like right now. I'm like an hour and a half past time. My final thoughts! MiHoYo hire me. I really like. I don't really do anything controversial. I've never really done. Like, I might like, you know, I might have haters on the internet, you know, just because I'm kind of a cringe lord. But like, I don't really do nothing crazy, and I'm a great voice actor. Like, let me know, hit me up. Like, you know, like I'm getting there. Like this isn't even my real voice. I don't even actually sound like this. You understand? So I'm like good. Like sponsor me. Like, if you don't want to hire me as a voice actor, like hit me up with the sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, give me a little some, like a little jade. Like, let me get a discount code. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Monkey discount code, like 10%, like you get like 20 stellar jade. Like, it don't gotta be anything crazy, just like something to like make it seem like I'm official, you feel me? Like, just let me know, like, you know, I got you. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today. I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi. That's all for now, monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!